Really do appreciate it. It means the world to me that you're not only here, you watch the content every day and that, yes, Carl, you want to know today. Seriously, I've never thought, I said I'd be happy with a few people coming. This turnout's great, it's absolutely amazing, so thank you for coming and believing in the day. Thanks to BitTrue for offering sponsorship and increasing the awareness. Thanks to Samantha, if she's here yet, I'm not too sure, but she gave a little help for the buffet and that we'll all be enjoying later on, so thanks. And basically just thanks to anyone who's been involved, anyone who's helped out, anyone who's offered help if we didn't even need it. Really do appreciate it, and like I say, it means the world to me, so thank you. I'm going to start off, basically, I'm just going to fly over some slides and that to talk about the internet of everything, which in my opinion is what the next generation will just see the internet as. At the moment we're talking about an internet of data, an internet of things, an internet of value, all these different internets. They will not be segregated in the future. The next generation of humans are just going to see it as the internet, a trifecta of goods, value and data. First and foremost, how we got into crypto. So, about 3 years ago now, I started watching a guy called Gary Vee online. I don't know whether any of you have watched him, but he basically just helps people chase their passions on Instagram, YouTube or wherever you want to. So, we started some channels, Love For, it was all based around Love For. We wanted Love For Animals, so we started that online on Instagram. We did Love For Knockouts, and we did Love For Life Hacks. But then pages started growing quite well. I started Love For Limited, a company next to it, to be basically a media agency, so after we paved the way on our passion, we could help other people do the same. That seemed to be going okay, and I was passionate about it, and I was enjoying doing it. Next thing, I get a phone call of Kurt. Check out this XRP, it's a cryptocurrency. So like I'm assuming most of you did over the years, you just shunned that Bitcoin thing, that blockchain, it's all just a load of tosh, it's all a load of BS, don't really want anything to do with it. He's adamant, he's like, no, just look at XRP, go and look at it, go and see what it is, tell me what you think. So he has a look, and literally within 60 minutes, I just saw the 3 to 5 day payment come down 4 seconds. That's all I needed. I don't understand how the rest of the world can't see that. It's as simple as that for me. And that's your email of the internet of value. That is phase 1. There's people talking about that's the end of it. It's the very start. It's like we're in the late 80s, early 90s of a new kind of internet that's paving the way. I'm going to show you in the slides, it's being built exactly the same way as the internet was back in the day, but just with different terminology. Long story short, I was, all over XRP within that, so it took us a week to figure out how to buy it. It was 17 cents at first, ended up 23. By the time we got in, came back out at 19, we got a little bit cheaper. But yeah, we was in it, was all over it. We ditched them Instagram Love For, Life Hacks, Animals, and Knockouts. We started Love For Crypto on Instagram and YouTube. Funnily enough, we changed the company name to Love For Crypto Limited. And no one that gives a bank account to have crypto in our name. We couldn't get a bank account. I won't give you a bank account, got crypto in your name. We're like, what? That's how bad it was. That's like late 2017. We're thinking, what the hell? So we had to change it back to Love For Limited. In the end, it's kind of been a blessing in disguise because that vision's still there for me now. I can put anything after them words. Love for comics, love for movies, love for gardening. It can branch into absolutely any brand you want it to. The next one, of course, was love for media, where we can run some podcasts on a separate channel. But that's a conversation for another time. Basically, it changed our lives getting into XRP, and I'm sure a lot of you, many of you, it's already changed your lives, and if our hopes are right, which, if we believe the documents and the information that we've been seeing, it's just a matter of time before it all comes to fruition. So, without further ado, I'll start talking about it. So we've got an internet of data, internet of value, internet of things. We're treating them like 3 separate internets at the moment, where if you take key skills and knowledge that we have from the past on how the internet of data actually grew, how people was able to utilise it. You didn't have to be a coder to invest in Twitter. You just needed a little bit of capital and the vision that Twitter was going to be big. You didn't have to be Mark Zuckerberg to use Facebook to your advantage with the ads and the AdWords and to build yourself a little data business, analytic businesses. You didn't have to be at the very forefront. You just didn't. You don't now, you just need key skills. We can take the skills we know from the Internet of Value being built, from the peer-to-peer payment, with what we know of the Internet of Data, merging with the Internet of Things. This will be, upon full maturity, an Internet of everything. And the more you learn about it, learn how to take it into business. For instance, waitresses and waiters. Tipbot has been about a while now, over a year. How many people do you know are actually using it for tips outside of Twitter, face-to-face tips, through a QR code? I don't know anyone who's actually doing that in a business yet. There's a gap in the market for a consultation business if anyone's got the idea for it. So if you've got the know-how to use and implement coil payments and the API into the merchant side of their devices, you've quite possibly got a consultant business in DLT, instructing future businesses how to stay ahead of the game in payments. One side of it, and it goes more, but first, we need adoption. It needs to be adopted, not just adopted, it needs the regulation. So we all came in initial adoption. There was no regulations. Half of us would have been using Coinbase, buying a bit of Bitcoin on Coinbase, sending it to Binance, and buying some XRP through there, and then you're like, oh, is it safe on Binance? Kurt, man, what was it like that day, mate? The first time I buys it, so he's already got it, he's got some XRP and that, he's custody. I'm thinking, I need some of this, I need it on this bit. So I'm like, get on it, Coinbase, send to Binance, boom. Kurt, money's gone, mate. Money's gone, money's gone. It's gone, lad. Where's my money gone? Seriously, I thought my money had gone. I was back to that Bitcoin thing, it's a scam. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Lo and behold, 12 hours, 24 hours later, something had appeared. That's why it was never going to go. And it was never going to blow as much as it did. It was impressive where it got. If we're all being completely honest, I think it was quite impressive where it got early 2018, considering how hard it was to get in. There was no real Revolut, there was no Wirexes, there was no LBX from London, there was no easy on and off ramps. They're easy on and off ramps now. They're charging extortionate fees, but there's easy on and off ramps. All we need now is regulation, and the big players will start their platforms. Once the Eastbins banking app comes out at the end of the year, I fully expect the Wirex fees and everything else to start dropping. They are cornering the market at the moment, and it's why they're allowed to charge so much when you want to come back into fiat. The off-ramp's just ridiculous. The off-ramp's not too bad, but when you want to start selling back into fiat, which no one should be doing anyway, unless you're a day trader, index, hats off, mate, Torre, smashing it. A few years of smashing it, and well done to you. Just not me, that. I'd rather invest, boom, get it there, leave it there. There is no selling for me. Waiting for regulation, and then we're waiting for mass adoption. Platforms that sell houses for XRP, platforms that sell cars for XRP, platforms that trade diamonds for XRP, your jewellery, anything you want. Smart contracts, you want to collateralise 25% of your house. I was talking about this with Curish's today, so if you've got like, you could like maybe have a car I want to buy, but I haven't really got the money, but I've got a house. So we can give you a little piece of my house as collateral for your car, and I'll pay you monthly £1,000, so say your car's 25 grand, we'll set up a monthly contract of £1,000 a month, and as the £1,000 a month's paid, the smart contract takes the percentage off each month. After 2 years, you paid for the car, house is back in my possession, everyone's happy. It's collateralising against your investment. It's the way it's going to go. We just need to wait. We're just waiting for the brain box to make it really. The coders. It's who we're relying on. Once we get the mass adoption, it's adoption into Internet of Things then. That's when it really takes off. This is what I've been trying to say to people. For me, the email of the Internet of Value, the payments, is just the adoption side. The maturity comes when your data, value and things all become encapsulated into a brand new Internet of everything. I've said it before in videos, and it's hard to understand. I understand it. It's hard to grasp. Every device in your house, paying for the power as it uses it. You shower, knowing that it's paying to warm the water as it's pulling the water in, to pay for it to be clean, paying your water rates per second, at the same time it's paying your power per second, while your oven's paying per second to heat your tea. Your lights are only paying, you're only paying for light when you've got lights on. It's coming. There was an advert during the World Cup, that feels like forever ago. It was during the World Cup, it went over everyone's head. It was a smart house advert where the guy literally just put his hand on the wall as he's walking out of his house, and it locked the house as he left. And then the fridge and oven and everything started moving. And the fridge was like, actually, oven, how much have you spent? And he's like, oh, I've spent 30p since they've left. And then there's a little automated plant waterer that's watering, and it's taking off the water as he uses water. He's like, oh, I've used 2 litres of water to water the plant, just like he asked. You know what I mean? And then as they get back, everything goes away. That's going to happen. They exaggerated it in the advert, but it was right there in front of everyone during the World Cup. They're all brewing up, or all gone to the phone, and it doesn't really register because they're not in the position we're in. They don't understand that we've got to wait for the regulation, we've got to wait for the encapsulation of Internet of Data or value and things. We've seen what's happening with China with the supply chain on blockchain. I don't know how many of you are actually aware of it. But there's a lot of people talking about the payment system, whereas their supply chain, you can walk into a shop now, QR code a bottle of milk, and it shows you the complete logistic travel of that milk, where it's been, what van it was in, what temperature it was over its travel, what farm it came from. You can click a video and see the state of the cows at that farm to make sure that they're being cared for to how you want them cared for, shall we say. Jamie Oliver is going to have a field day with it with a red tractor. Once you get cameras in them red tractor warehouses, I'll be surprised who's going to meet them. So you buy chicken from Tesco, and you decide to QR code it, and it takes you to the thing, and you see that the chicken came from a certain place, and you click on the video. The next thing, 40 chickens per cage. You're buying it. You're buying that chicken. Honestly, you're buying that. I'm not. Everything in the supermarket, boom, where'd that come from? Boom, where'd that come from? Who made that? Boom, boom, who brought it here? How long was it there? How long was that fish on the ship? Fresh fish. I'm living near no beach. Maybe telling me there's fresh fish in Tesco, where's the beach? Honestly, it's frozen fresh. It's not fresh, it's frozen fresh. But how long has it been frozen fresh? Don't really know, whereas in the next couple of years it's going to be bold. Oh, that's how long? Yeah, that's not too bad. And you'll buy it or you won't buy it. A brand new internet of everything. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable. And like I say, it's hard to get our heads around it. Let's go back to 2001. Try and get your head around Facebook coming in for 4 or 5 years. Try and get your head around the fact that there'll be a YouTube in 7 years. You're not being the code, it's hard. It's hard, and everyone's been sat there, oh, I missed out on that. Missed out on that, missed out on that, missed out on that, and then we miss out on Bitcoin. We've not missed out on this. Clearly haven't, and it's clearly going somewhere. And the SPQR lads come on later, I hope they've done a really, really deep dive, because I haven't. I'm just legitimately just over the internet of value, into the internet of everything. ILP, coil payments, is the start of it all. From the smart houses, paying per second, your wages, your tax, your insurances, your subscriptions to Netflix, the new Disney app, Warner Brothers app, Amazon Prime, boom, 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 coil payments, sorted it. How long is it going to take for that maturity? How long is it going to take for us, the people, to force Netflix on the coil payments? To say, sorry Netflix, sorry, I'm not watching you now until you're on coil payments and I'm only paying per second while I'm watching. I'll pay you while I'm watching, but I'm not paying while I'm at work. While I'm not watching you. You can have per second payments as and when I watch, like all the YouTubers now, and the influencers that have gone on coil with the YouTube. If anyone's a contributor, thanks and well done, because you are pioneering that and you are the ones moving it forward that will in the end force Netflix and everyone to make a change. But They need a competitor. They need competitors. So cinnamon for YouTube. You can say to YouTube all you want, drop your ads, Coil's there. YouTube, Google YouTube, like, I don't know, you on about Coil's already on YouTube, Jay? Coil's on YouTube, me, put YouTube on Coil. And it's like, no, remove your ads, mate, remove your ads then, and let us have the whole money. It's not going to happen, Google's not going to let it happen, they'll always have some form of ad. You might want an ad. Okay, I might be going fishing in 2 weeks, wants a new thing, this week, so you go on to Coil, you sign in, you're like, yo Coil, for the next 7 days I want ads about fishing, give me some fishing tackle ads, actually let them fall through, because I want to see them and I want to see if there's any 20% off the rod somewhere. There's going to become some weeks where you might want ads, there's going to be some weeks where you won't want ads. Until the competitor comes, there's no enticement for YouTube to change, there's no incentive for Netflix to change, there's just no there. Cinnamon is the first one now emerging to tackle YouTube, in my opinion. And I personally think it's going to be absolutely massive. So it will be paid through Coil contributors, and people who go on can watch, and when they're watching someone linked, it's instantly linked to Coil because it's the Cinnamon, it's Coil ads on the platform. There's also, you can do your blog posts, doesn't have to be video content, and you will be paid by contributors through Coil payments. Excuse me. Which is exactly what I mean by staying ahead of the game. People are about to lose jobs. So there's a lot of people who don't want the job. They just don't want to do what they do. They go into work every day because you feel like you've got it, and you need a wage because you need to pay the bills. And you've got that little thing at the side of your head that you're passionate about. You think, I want to do that full time, and it would be nice if I could get paid doing that. No one tries to do it. It's what Gary Vee says. It's the reason we came down this path. No one really tries to chase the passions online. I've got an idea, mate, and I want to share it with you because I'm never going to do it because I'm not really into football anymore. But someone who goes to the football and spends money to attend a football match and is extremely passionate about a football match is spending a hell of a lot of money on travelling to football. He could be making money just watching the football at home. Sets up a camera with 5 of his mates, watches the match live, doesn't show the game on his camera, just got him and his mates, and they're just having a chat and they're having banter, and they just stream it live. Then over the next week they cut highlights, and they put the highlights out and it gets watched by people. I was telling my mate the other day about it, and he's like, well, I'm just going to watch telly, are there? And I'm like, why are you talking to me like Gogglebox doesn't exist, mate? So it's alright for the mainstream to do it, but we can't. When you're going on holiday again, document it. It's only Love Island, isn't it? Seriously. So the kids of tomorrow are going to realise, hang on a minute, Channel 4's just got people getting paid for watching telly. They've just got people on holiday, just getting paid to do thinking. That's going to trickle down to a guy who loves steak. So, you know, I've got a Coil thing, the steak man. You're going to go to New York and test steaks and tell you which are the best steakhouses in New York, and if he's got the right attitude and personality, he's going to find 100,000 people that want to watch him and want to see what he thinks of the steakhouses in New York and Italy and France and Australia and where it takes him. He'll just be living then, enjoying his steak, marking it online. This one's a bomb. I'll watch it for the rest of the day, look. And it's upvote, people watching Coil payment, things like that, it can take you into it, and that's just micro payments of people using the passions. You've got smart contracts are absolutely ridiculous. I don't think anyone in the room can honestly stand up and say they understand smart contracts, because if you can, you get on. No one really knows what's going to go on, but we do know that you're going to be able to instigate transactions with an immutable contract, a contract that can't be changed once agreed unless it's met with a new consensus. We've been talking about voting systems. What does a consensus mean for voting systems? How long is it going to take the next generation to realise that the government now just needs to be idea men? We don't need them anymore. How crazy is that? Now, to all you Bitcoin maxis out there who think you're going to get rid of banks, I've got news for you. You've got more chance of getting rid of the House of Commons than you have the Bank of England. That is the truth. You have got more chance of getting rid of the House of Commons than you have got getting rid of the Bank of England. Know that, because the Bank of England basically owns the House of Flaming Commons. Leave conspiracies to one side, carry on the smart contract. But what does it mean, 51% when they become idea then? What if Article 59 was on an immutable smart contract set to be put through by a blockchain? What would have happened March 29th? Would have come out the EU like that, because the consensus was met in a democratic vote, and the consensus algorithm would have just gone through with it. How long till the next generation realise that? And realise that, quite honestly, excuse me French, they're taking the fucking piss. And they have been for a long time. And we've got too many people walking around the world, it's just the way it is. If it was just the way it is, Trump wouldn't be in office, so it started, there is change. Nigel Farage, when he talks about the end of two-party politics, so when you talk about, when you see Mark Carney talking about payments and that, he's clearly talking about ILP and a new Internet of Value, but he doesn't mention it. Nigel Farage, I truly think, knows a little bit about DLT and that, because he talks about the end of two-party politics. He knows it's coming to an end, and he's trying to get Brexit Party in to do it again. We'll leave politics to the side. Be all and end all of it, it comes to regulation and the smart things as well. The phone again. The digital ID is what we need. The government needs to know it's me. They need to know it's Scott Pratt. They need the KYC through 5G, knowing that I'm in this spot and I'm who I say I am. And bam, and yeah, I want to make the decision. So the government come out, we've got this idea, we either do that or we either do that, we vote on it. We either do this, we either do that, we vote on it. And the 51% is reached, and the consensus algorithm goes through with it. All contracts are immutable, and it's going, it's done. Done and dusted for me, that. For me, all it is a matter of time. I know a few people are scared of it. Oh, they've got all my data and all that, but we spoke outside about personal ledgers. People need to remember you're going to make your own personal ledger soon, and if you don't, you're going to trust someone else for making it. So you've either got to trust the Bank of England to hold your digital ID, to be interoperable with the system that holds your medical data, or to interoperable with your credit, your criminal record, your credit record, the reputation score if that comes in. You will need to trust someone to make your personal ledger if you can't make it yourself. We've also spoke already outside with people about how easy that's going to be. So we'll go to websites and say to most people in this room, go and write an HMTL website. Go write your HTML, all that, go and do it. Write the code, put the website up. Most people are like, oh wow, can't do that. Go and Wix and do it then, because it's only moving widgets about and then your website build. So if I ask you now to go and build a ledger on Ethereum, you don't really know. Some of you might search it and realise you've only got a copy 12 lines of code, throw about 500 quid in and you've got your own ledger and coin. If you want it private, go and do it on Hyperledger Fabric. If it's the supply chain in your business, go and build it on Hyperledger Sawtooth. Technology's there for you. They've already built it. The Hyperledger Foundation, the Linux Foundation has already built the tech for people to use to build their own personal ledgers. The W3C, who's in charge of Internet Protocol and Internet regulations, has took the ILP and the crypto regulations on board. They're already in charge of it. It is a done deal. It is happening. And all people have to do is learn to take advantage of it. It will come through business and life. We're going to have smart payments, all working on themselves. The W3C says payments will get that smart and frictionless that it will be like we're not even paying in the future. There will be no payments. It will seem there's no payments. And again, I know a lot of people are a bit worried about chips in their hands and all that stuff, but it is what it is. Your kids are going to want it. And people are going to be signing contracts or shaking hands as the chips meet, or they're just going to tap phones together, contract signed. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a world where we can't really envision it. Smart payments, there could be a multitude of different things, but in the W3C's eyes, the be-all and end-all of it is they see it as the removal of payments. It will feel like you're not making a payment. Does sending a text message feel like you've wrote and sent a letter? Doesn't, does it? But you have. You have. It was just a short one-line letter to someone else sent through the internet data. So that's what they mean when it's not really going to be a payment. It's still going to be payments, value's still going to move, information's still moved through your text message, but you didn't see it as a letter. Smart businesses will then grow using the new technologies, what they already got from the Internet of Data, the Internet of Things they're building with the Internet of Value. They will have machines working for them everywhere, and the humans facilitating the machines at first. Any human in scientific jobs, you will still have your job for a while. Ain't no robot is going to go in and rewire an house in the next 10 years. So if you're smart, you're alright. But it is coming, and it all leads to a smart future. It just does. It can be a scary future for some. It can be an unknown future for others. But it is a smart future, whether you like it or not. It's coming. And it's all about interoperability. That's what's made it possible. It's Ripple at the end of the day. So we can have any conversation we want about XRP. We can have any conversation we want about RippleNet. But the be-all and end-all of it, again, is they create interoperability with the Interledger protocol. They've handed it to the W3C. That is a done deal. It is the construction and the architecture of the Internet of Value. It's not that ILP will not want to choose another asset from XRP. If you can make one to do it in 3 seconds, feel free, go fill your boots, I'll have some of that. But no one can do it. It seems like they struggle to get it down to 4 seconds, because if it was that easy, I'd assume you'd have a Russian company doing one, and you'd have a Chinese company that had made a similar XRP. The fact that Jed Michaela couldn't even make it the same himself, and he worked with Arthur Britto and everyone else, and David Schwartz, and even he couldn't do it, match it. It's inflationary, it's bullshit, it's just not the same coin. It's not that it won't have a competitor in the end. They're building a level playing field. You can't have a level playing field without healthy choice. At the moment, though, the only bridge is XRP. When you talk about a bridge, you have banks, blockchains, mobile money, online wallets, networks of value all over the planet, all disconnected. What's happened over the last decade? Thousands more networks, all again disconnected. So we're going to do a transaction with a Bitcoin maxer. Don't want his Bitcoin. What do you mean? You know what, have it, it's going to be worth a lot, but for argument's sake, say I don't want it. I want Ethereum to land me. And the guy's like, what, I've only got Bitcoin? I want Ethereum, mate. We need something to join them two networks, to flip the currency into networking for payment networks. The bridges between the banks, the blockchains, the mobile money, the online wallets. It's not just going to be XRP. Don't believe that. It's not. 10 to 20, 30 years, it will have competitors. Someone will figure it out. There's a 12-year-old lad here today, isn't there, with his dad. Nice to meet you. You're going to have a chat very soon. He could be the next Beats Vindy. He's at a DLT conference talking to all of us when he's 12 years old. Really? Really? What's he going to be capable of when he's 20? Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable where it's going to go. It comes down into networking. So the internet working all these things, and again, it all just comes back to everything coming together in a brand new internet. The internet. Again, 90% of the world don't even really understand it's happening. They still just see the internet of data as the only internet. It's not. It was the first step in the internet of everything. And again, everyone can have all, they just want it to control us and all that. Conspiracies of podcasts. So the internet architecture, they took it back to basics. They basically copied the architecture of the internet because they know it works. That's why when you hear David Schwartz say, well, what we wanted to do was make money move as fast as information does today. What was the best way to make that happen? Copy what it does. You don't need to understand this. Don't need to understand it all. You don't need to know how to break it down. You just need to know that there's a few things on there that you recognise in there. From HTTP to IP, your IP address. You've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Ethernet. You all understand a few of them terms, and you understand where they are in the internet. Every device has an IP to lock into the internet work. So when it's being sent some information, it has an address. Doesn't matter whether what application it's coming from at the top. The application layer will use the transport layer below to drop the data into that IP address via any network it chooses. They just did it again. It's exactly the same thing, but this time it's packets of value, not packets of information. So again, at the top, the application, the only one you really need to know is HTTP with a -ILP. So you know that is basically taking current HTTP protocols and merging them with an ILP API. That's all you really need to know. Don't need to understand how he's wrote the code that's going to merge it. Just knowing that that's merging and the fact that you know that information, you can use that to your advantages. The ledgers below is going to be blockchains, banks, mobile money, people's apps, people's dApps. It's just going to grow, like I say, from anything from personal ledgers. The adoption strategy. I struggle with this one, because this is a Ripple document that was passed by around the W3C and it was passed around all the banks. An adoption strategy. ILP is the first tab. And yeah, it's not in mainstream. So how good's the strategy? How good's that strategy? If you're going to start with ILP, you'd think it'd be everywhere. That's when we understand these documents were behind the scenes documents going through people at the top. And if it wasn't for the internet of data, we wouldn't even see them. If you imagine we go back to the 60s, 70s and 80s, when all this information was being passed around between companies, new startups, governments, banks, no one ever saw it. No one ever had access to it. Now we've got the internet, we've got leaks and everything. That can be a little bit muddy when you consider an internet of value, what's going to leak out of that. But I think everyone is safe enough in an immutable system run by a consensus. It's not a mining protocol, it's not governed by the country. Your CBDC ledgers will be. So make no mistake, when people talk about freezing funds, if you've got a load of CBDCs on a Bank of England platform, pretty sure that's going to be frozen. Your XRP wallet can't be frozen. But if you've been KYC'd and they trace you back, they could lock you out of other walled gardens, so you can't send your XRP into it. So people are going to actually they're going to have to move forward very carefully with the way they handle themselves with digital assets, especially, because this is the be-all and end-all, because when everything else gets tokenized, on the screen it's just going to look like another digital asset. Yeah, you might own some gold that's in a Bank of England vault somewhere, you might get it sent to your house so you physically hold it, but at the end of the day, it could just be on someone's platform. The same to Boo the other day, if you can't figure out how to make it all yourself and build your own ledgers and your own platforms, you are simply trusting someone else. You just are. To mine your digital assets, it's who you're going to trust and who's going to make it happen. So at the moment, we have Hyperledger Foundation and making it happen more than anyone. Everyone's pretty much a break off of them. This is, you hear NTT data, or you hear the DTCC, you hear about the Bank of England, the Bank of China, everyone else who's doing their own little thing. They're all together in a Hyperledger. The Hyperledger Foundation, it's the biggest digital ledger technology foundation on the planet. There is no consortium of companies, institutions and banks bigger than that, regardless of what they're doing alone. Hyperledger Quill, made by Ripple, and I believe NTT Data, or it might have been DTCC, can't really remember, but it was a Ripple tech given to Hyperledger for the interoperability aspect. That is your tool which will tap into ILP and make any Hyperledger project interoperable with any other network. The mobile money, Mojaloop and all your Chinese and your Far Eastern ones, again, just another layer, just another network, another walled garden, any way you want to look at it, it's something else that needs reconnecting to other things, and it's going through ILP in the end. Like we say, if people just realise that the W3C is in charge of it, it is a done deal. Internet of everything, it's coming. Banks, it's interesting to put e.g. Ripples. We're thinking Ripple banks. The banks actually called Ripple banks, but that just means runs on Ripple. You see them coming, all the banks are coming out, they're going to run on Ripple, they remember the Ripple net. They will be some of the instigators. Central banks, obviously, e.g. Bank of England, a paying Ripple customer. A paying Ripple customer. So bring that up next time Tom Bates wants to talk about Ripple giving money. Ripple buying some shares in MoneyGram. They bought shares in MoneyGram and all them are stood there like, oh, they're paying them off. No, if you want to talk about who's paying who to actually use technology, the Bank of England and other central banks are actually paying Ripple to get on RippleNet and to be taught how the new internet value is going to work. And being twined to everything else, to people's online wallets, it's legitimately comes all down to that device, being able to know how much data can we share with people recording videos and doing this and that. And it was unthinkable in the 90s that you could share data so seamlessly. And for most people now, it's still unthinkable that we can share value so seamlessly. Chris was there the other night pinging value from each other. It was madness, and most of the world don't even understand you can do that. All from the ledgers, from multiple ledgers. We had from 2 different ledgers to another 1 ledger. Then we have a transaction from Binance into the ledger, and we have one from Wirex into the ledger. All done. That's like the debate that he's having with like Tony Vay. Like when I say I'd like to get in front of him, all I want to do is transactions. So I just want to say to him like, all right, Tony, you've got 2 Bitcoin wallets. Send yourself a tenner worth of Bitcoin. And when he clicks send, I'm just going to go, I'm going to get Wirex out. And nice and easy, going to send myself 20p, 30p, 40p, 50p, pound, 5p, and just spam loads of little micro transactions. And then when I'm up to a tenner of about 50 transactions, just put my phone down nice and calmly and just go, how's your transaction going, pal? Because I'll know I'll have beat him. And I'll just be like, right, so you're still going to say that network's better than that? That's the debate, though. Why he won't go on camera with people who know about the internet of value? Because he understands that the network he's raving about needs this. Said before, how are you going to send Ethereum if you only own Bitcoin? In the back end of this year, you'll have VSpin's app to do it. So you'll throw it into VSpin's app in his ILP API, will flip it for you. Or his XRP payments. So let's just that one. Where people just put the amount in, and at the moment it accepts any amount. That'll just flip currencies for you in the end. So if you want to start off sending pounds, but I want to receive XRP, is ILP API. So is ILP API helping micropayments go through? You can have unhashed code, yes. Again, level playing field. It's not that there's only going to be one platform doing it. There's going to be a multitude that you'll get to choose from, all running through ILP. And again, ILP is going to choose XRP to run through any and most marketplaces because it's the fastest asset. Until there's a viable competitor, it's going to choose XRP every time. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's, again, I keep saying it, but it's a done deal. It's done and dusted. All thanks to these guys. Hyperledger Foundation. This is one of the documents that put us on the path. It's an Everest document. Everest is an NTT data company. You've got NTT data at the top. You see IBM, you see R3, you see Digital Asset, you see Intel, DTCC, Cisco, Accenture, Huawei, Swift, SAP. Do I need to go on? BNY Mellon, JP Morgan. It's absolutely unbelievable. Wells Fargo. Everyone you can imagine who needs to be and needs to have some input of where this technology is going is a member of this consortium. The Linux Foundation leads the biggest consortium of technology companies and financial institutions collaborating to establish the DLT and blockchain technology standards. NTT Data is a member of Hyperledger. Like I said, it's their document, to the bound to blow it up a little bit, but at the end of the day, you can't show me a bigger consortium than this. And the fact that they're all working alongside Ripple, they're not working with Bitcoin miners, are they? Are they? How many Bitcoin miners' names have you seen on Bank of England documents and stuff? Again, timeline. So 1974, Vince Cerf and Bob Kahn create the Internet Protocol. What the? 10 years before I was born. And then they still didn't even really have that much email, did we, in the 80s? Only up to 95. Are you shitting, man? 21 years. 21 years for mainstream internet after IP. So what we're waiting for mainstream ILP? Maturity over adoption. Yeah, there is adoption happening and regulation happening, but it's only going to run up to 2025, and then we've got a long, long path of the tech being fully matured. HDTV ain't matured. Think about that. HDTV is not matured. 101 on Virgin is still standard definition. Why has everyone not got an HDTV? Is anyone in here with standard definition teller? Not in your kitchen, your main teller. No. Someone is somewhere, because 101's not HD yet. Apple founded NTT Data in 1988, so they was basically a company, this is what I'm saying now, so this was a company who leaned over and saw the internet protocol, would have had a little bit of inkling where that was all going to go, and they was like, yo, data's going to be huge. And his mates are going to be like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't fucking know, mate, but it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. There's this big internet thing, and it's called internet protocol, and he's not going to need the post office. Like, what? Not going to need the post office. And then there's this thing coming after it called search. And then it's going to be websites, and after that we'll be in an internet 2.0. And look at us now, 2004, Facebook's founded. Look at how fast it all of a sudden went. I mean, even Amazon, 1994. Madness. He's the richest man in the world now. Started as a bookshop. Online bookshop. That is crazy. For an online bookshop from 1994 to now produce the world's richest man, and he's sat on 120 odd billion after a divorce. After a divorce, 120 odd billion. I don't know what he's having. Seriously. So there's your timeline from the 50s, first mainframe computers. But we know stuff speeds up and everyone underestimates technology. So although they've got a timeline, they could have underestimated it. They could have underestimated it. They really, really could have. We're not saying this is set in stone. We're not saying this is exactly how it's going to play out. But if you draw your attention to 2017, 2020, Ripple becomes the standard for international money transfers between banks. ILP becomes the standard protocol for connecting banks' cash ledgers as part of Ripple software. Between 2020 and 2025, the blockchain solutions for capital markets, trade finance emerge, R3 Corda, DAH, Fabric, etc. ILP Java becomes an interoperability standard for Hyperledger Foundation projects. That is because of what Stephen Thomas and everyone else says. Even Chris Larson said it. Codius platform can move anything of value over a Java contract. And Java being an extremely easy language to learn compared to most. It even has platforms, like I say, that let you put code together, like Wish lets you put a website together. It's not hard to learn if you're passionate about it. 12-year-old, once you figure it out, and see that. Hell no. But yeah, it's extremely interesting where it's going to go. So between 2025 and 2030, I would say blockchains and distributed ledger solutions mature, and all asset exchange networks become interoperable with ILP. That's when smart houses blow up, self-driving cars blow up, you make a payment through your car, like we were saying, it'll take you to the paid hairdressers and take you there while it's paying fucking a cinema ticket. And then as you leave your ticket, self-driving cars driving your own, you tell it to tell Alexa to turn the oven on because you want a pizza when you get in. It's absolutely unbelievable, and people are already doing that with Hive. Turn the lights off, shut the blinds, put the heating on my way home. And all, it's not that big of a jump, is it? An API update, so it pays for itself now. So when you turn that heater on, it's just paying. It's paying. Internet of everything, all connected through ILP. Got it there, to an internet of value. It's where we're going. They have to talk internet of value when they're talking about payments. Because it starts with real-time gross settlement. That's where they've been. That's where they've been for the last few years. You need to imagine a lot of older men who don't really get the tech, who was just brushing it off. They've used this system for 40 odd years and it works for them and they make a lot of money off it. We don't really want to go with this other one. Bitcoin's on the dark web, blah, blah, blah. which is why documents like this would have emerged, and which is why you've had the Ripple and the XRP ledger, should I say, just doing transactions for years. I think it's up to about 7 years now. I've said it's quite interesting how when it gets to 10 years, you're at the 2023 migration. So by the time everyone's expected to have migrated to ISO 2202, whatever it was, and they're all on ILP through their APIs, the world's your oyster then. Everything else then taps into that system once they're on that. It starts with central bank RTGS systems being interoperable with each other. Comes back to it's simple currency transfer, innit? So I want Ethereum, I want XRP, but you've got to send Bitcoin to an interoperable system. There's a guy in China who wants to sell me a t-shirt, he wants Chinese money, I want to send Great British pounds, and again, it's basically an international RTGS system. We've had it in England for a while, haven't we? You talk to people, say, oh, you're going to be able to move money rapid. They're already send you a tenner and just goes like that, mate, what you want about? And they don't see it because they're in the pound-to-pound system. They're staying in pounds. They're not going from another currency. It's only going to take another 3 years to sort this out, and then you will see it go to everything else. Again, could be sooner. We could see a platform next week. They're actually being built. We've seen them pegging it to gold, storing gold in a place. Store, secure, insure. Said it in a video. It'll become a slogan for people. We'll store, secure, and insure your commodities. We'll store, secure, and insure your crypto. Business idea. Anyone's got a bit of space and a few volts, get out there and throw your slogan. Are you worried about crypto? We'll store, secure, and insure it for you. I wouldn't surprise you to see that in the next 5 years. Pull people like family members who've been laughing at you all the time, or not buying it, like, yeah, you do really well. I'm still not buying it. How many of them have done that? It's not me, so it's getting rid of the correspondent banking system. It was never going to be easy, and a lot happened behind the door, but look at the banks. All of a sudden, boom, they're all running on Ripple. Look at the dates. Real-time cross-border settlement, 1980 to 2017. From 2017, they've been going on X-current. It's bi-directional messaging. It's sped up the current system. I told a little fun about X-current current system. It fits. It does fit. But X-current can't facilitate the future. It can't facilitate the millions of houses all paying for stuff each second. Can't facilitate self-driving cars, all talking to each other and making payments at the same time. It just can't facilitate it. It needed something else, which is X-Rapid and the XRP ledger right in the middle of it, facilitating interoperable settlement. Not just payment, but settlement. Hyperledger Foundation, all over it. Ripple, all over it. Us, all over it. All these platforms on the side going to be all over it. We can see them on the side of Hyperledger Fabric. We've got Corda, Ethereum blockchain, Bloomberg, DTCC, SAP, IBM, Oracle, Intel, Apple, Android, Tesla, Apple Pay, Android Pay, PayPal, eBay, Alibaba, Airbnb, Google, Microsoft, Netflix. It's not like they don't know what's happening. They're there on the documents, the information's been shared with them. They're just wondering what's going to happen. You can imagine Netflix now thinking, shit, what's going to happen with this coil shit? YouTube, what's going to happen with this coil shit? I don't know, we'll just put 2 adverts at the start of every video and we'll start there, yeah? Because no one's done that. So when you're watching YouTube, it's got 2 videos at the start now, hasn't it? We didn't do that. We didn't just go in and think, fuck it, we're going to start putting 2 videos on the front and everyone's going to do it, everyone's just going to follow suit. YouTube did it. Why? Are they scared that they're going to lose some ad money? Because they know very, very soon it's likely you're going to be able to turn them off through coils. Like saying that don't want ads this week. Don't want ads this week, then shut them off. And boom, they're gone then. That's Google not making money then. Google stood back thinking, shit. If they don't run ads, we don't get ad money. Facebook, Zuckerberg's like, fuck, if no one's running ads, we're not going to get paid. It's how they get paid. So yeah, they will be worried, but they won't be seriously worried until a competitor comes along. They're going to be ready. No doubt they're going to be ready to switch over and make a jump. Facebook wouldn't be talking about a Libra coin if they wasn't, and not try to take this market, but they're too late. They're on there, on the right. Ain't saying Libra in the middle of that, is it? Do you know? It's not happening that way. Yet they introduce a little bit of fun. So our mates and everyone can say, oh, you're not scared of Libra coin. Go away. It's like they've not been listening. Like they've not been listening. They claim to know them, they've not been listening. But enabling interoperability across platforms between 2020 and 2025. Again, don't be surprised if in the next couple of years you see your Amazon Alexa upgrades, you can now make payments for you and has a couple more tricks up the sleeve. Your Google Assistant, don't really matter how much time, it's like, okay Google, and you're booking something. Chris was in the car with his mate the other day in the new Mercedes, he got it as a hire car, his arms is raging, only talk. And his mate's like, what do you mean? And Chris is just like, Mercedes. And it's like, yes. Like, take it to the nearest McDonald's, and it just come up on the sat nav, like the route to the nearest McDonald's, and you start driving there, I'm like, what the? I mean, it's crazy. But just look, and let it sink in. All them companies, I mean, they're all massive companies, and they're only the tip of the iceberg for really what's actually coming, and who's going to beat them to the punch. Because like I say, I really do feel they're going to let these competitors grow a little bit before they're forced to change, which could lead to them being killed off. I'm looking at going Cinnamon next week, so from next week I'll still be uploading to YouTube, but I'll also be putting it on Cinnamon. And now I have implored everyone to try and get to Cinnamon and watch it instead of YouTube. Pays us every month, but not fairly. Not a level playing field, is it? They're taking like 45, 50% off everyone who makes money on there. The rich. The rinsing people of money they earn simply because they throw a few ads on the platform. So yeah, watch people on Coil the minute they're on it. Read their articles on Coil instead of Facebook. Get off the centralised platforms as soon as we can. It's hard for me to stop using Facebook because I'm like so entwined with how it works and that. But you'll notice through the last couple of weeks I've been trying to be on Twitter more, trying to transition, trying to leave Facebook alone. The Instagram posts, not really post on Instagram that much because I just don't want to feed the platforms that are rinsing every one of the content revenue basically that they should be taking. They just should. It's not right. And everyone's level playing field is not just in trade finance between America and China. It's not just between Britain and the EU. It's between everyone. It's for me and you. It's for everyone. Even the SIG packs are the same colour now. All on the same colour, all the same size. They all look the same. All on a level playing field basically. All a different price every week. It is unbelievable when you start trying to think of what's coming and what industries are going to be affected by blockchain and this internet of everything, because it is everything. It just is. And you can see by this, we've got trade finance, we've got pre and post trade, complex risk coverage, we've got identities and know your customer, KYC, we've got unlisted securities, private equity funds, loyalty programs, medical, fraud compliance, distributed energy and carbon credits, supply chains, food safety, provenance and reliable traceability, and we could even add a little bit more to that. Every single database on the planet on a blockchain in the end, whether it needs a currency to facilitate it or not, the immutable side. You think about email hacks from big corporations like Sony. I mean, they was almost ruined. A few people lost their jobs and that simply because of a few emails they sent and someone hacked their email system, the server. Centralised systems are dying, and it will be every system in the end. Every system. Payments by anyone, in anything, to anywhere. So using anything you want as a payment, sending it to anywhere in the world, as easy as you send a message now. That's what it's going to come to. It really is. I can't personally wait for it. I am interested in everyone's thoughts on the visions, everyone's thoughts on how it's going to go in. We've got VTOC mortgages here. I'm extremely interested in that. So we've got a mortgage idea of interest-free mortgage where you agree a rate over 25 years to pay your mortgage, and you put it into VTOC. It's in this pool paying the mortgage. So you've got an agreed rate in case the currency goes down. You'll still keep paying that rate. But in the chance that the currency goes up and it meets the price of the house, it's just paid off, you can stop paying into it. Your house is just done. Like, woohoo. I mean, how does that sound? It sounds a little bit weird. You're like, what? Interest-free mortgage, and if the crypto goes up, okay. He'll speak about it in a bit. I'm extremely interested in it. I'm extremely interested in random ideas I've not even thought of. Do you know what I mean? So we'll network throughout the day. Any business ideas you've got, don't be scared of just throwing it out there. You might not quite see the way to figure it out, and you say one thing to one of the guy who's here today, and he's like, I just do this, that, you my head. You're there like, I know why I think I think of that, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like two heads are always better than one. You get five together, who knows what you can accomplish. So, on that note, that's basically my opening presentation and keynote. It's basically the be-all and end-all of what I want this day to be about. There's other presentations on, but I want everyone just basically, not that we're not going to have a little bit of moon talk, yeah, with what price are you selling at and that, yeah, we can have a little bit of that. But mainly, where do you think it's going to go? What do you think about consensus in voting? Making the House of Commons idea, man. They're passing a law to try and stop Brexit. They're trying to pass a law now to try and stop Brexit again, and why is that not just pinging through my phone now? Can we put this law in, please? Why is that not the way it is? There are representatives, they work for us. They should be like, can I do this, please? Are you okay with that? Not going to cut my head off. I forgot what it must have been like 1341, mate, because that's what would have happened. You know, I get an guillotine, mate, I think you told. They've had enough, like. Send the crows down there, because they've had enough. And they get a letter on the leg of the crow, like sorting neck out or coming down with the Bannerman name. Bannerman are coming down, calling the Lords in. That's what happened. Look it up, 1341. The Lords went down, mate, called the Bannerman in. He went down, they're like, yo, keep sending them soldiers up there for gold, son. Gonna have problems. We need a voice down here. And then they had the House of Commons and they put the speaker in place to be the speaker for the people. Has anyone got his number? They've got something to say. Seriously. How much is it going to change the world? It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely unbelievable. So again, thanks for coming. I'm interested in your ideas. We will talk and converse throughout the day. But yeah, basically just thanks for coming and enjoy the day. Let loose and let's have a great one. Cheers.
I'm the CEO of a company called Wireless Racer. I am going to ramble a bit because I'm tired, I'm sorry. I'm also going to walk around so we'll keep my energy level high. So, Wireless Racer started off here in 2012 as a university project. I've got a bachelor's degree in intelligent production and a master's degree in creative technology. The main modules were robotics and programming. So, at university I sat there and I played with a whole load of open source hardware, namely things like the Arduino board, which some of you may have heard of. And I thought, what can we do with this technology? And I thought to myself, it would be great if we could control physical devices from anywhere in the world, from the comfort of your own home. I thought, what project could I do that would allow me to quickly create a prototype without having to think about things like, you know, going against gravity or density, and something that would just run out of the box kind of thing. So for cars. Cars are really easy to deal with because it's usually a servo at the front which moves the wheels direction left and right, and a motor at the back which will propel forwards and reverse. So anyway, I played around with the Arduino for a while, and I thought to myself, I kind of don't want to give this project to the university. So those of you who know how universities work, what they like to do is they like to get a whole load of ideas from students and say, this idea now belongs to us. So there's some clauses and prints in documents and assignment of the university that says everything you create belongs to the university. So I thought, I don't want to give them this car. So what I did is I created a mobile app, a Flash app, a game. It was a game which is on the Play Store, and it's had a few thousand downloads. It works with your accelerometer. You move the spaceship around for They didn't want this. They said, we know about your car, we know about you trying to control physical devices from other parts of the world. I said, yeah, okay, that's fair enough, but I don't have to give this to you guys. They said, okay, fair enough, that's fine. However, we also need to be working on a security device. At the time I created a lock, it was a door, and it could be opened and closed from anywhere in the world, again, physically. So the idea was if you went on holiday and someone wanted to come into your house to borrow a cup of sugar or feed your cat or your dog, etc., from home you would press a button and it would allow your house door to be open for a set amount of time. Lets them come in and out without having to give a key, it was secure. I had to end up giving this to university anyway, and that was fine because I got to keep the car technology. So I worked on the car for a while, and I was in a very small flat in Brixton, South London, where I'm originally from, and I turned on Sky TV and I saw something called RC Racing. Now, RC Racing is a show which has been on Sky TV for over a decade, and what they do is they go all around the world and they follow competitions, tournaments, where people race remote control cars. So I thought, okay, great, this is really interesting. I could work with these guys. So I gave them a call, I ended up talking to them, and we discussed the technology I was working on, and I said, look, I've got a car now that can be controlled from anywhere in the world. Everything I'd done myself. The hardware, I'd created my own PCB, and guys in China had developed it for me, made the PCB, and we started to use this PCB. The software, basically everything for this to work I've kind of done, and I played around with. I spoke to Nick Damon, who was the owner of RCTV. He's kind of got his own fame story. He's the guy that made Michael Schumacher cry as a YouTube video and asked him questions and cries. Anyway, he said to me, John, this is great, but I don't think that the video broadcasting is there yet. And I said, okay, let's have a few tests. So we tested it from a few different countries, and he was right, it wasn't really there. These were the days where I think we had 3G, we had ADSL, there was no fibre yet, there was no 4G, everything was running slow, so there was loads of video. So, okay, it kind of got shelved, and I worked on a few other projects until it came to a time where the technology had got there. So, with the faster internet connection speeds, faster CPUs, faster graphics cards, it allowed us to start working on cars. This is a Schumacher Superstocks GT12. These cars are about £300 each. They go to about 40 miles an hour. So these cars we've got working through the internet, through custom bespoke software, which allows gamers from anywhere in the world to connect to the cars and race them with live video feedback. A whole load of our prototypes have FPV cameras on, so first person view, you can see kind of like the set in the car, and also multiple track cameras. So I worked on this, and it was great, and I thought, where can I really take this? So I went to a whole load of events all over Europe, and we tried it on a whole load of really cool tracks, and the feedback was brilliant. So we saw a problem with racing, and the problem was that there's cash prizes. Okay, so when one competitor is 100th of a second faster than another, and all of your information is being stored on a SQL database, it's really easy for someone to modify it. If I was an insider and I put a bet down on someone and they were 100th of a second slower, if I was a dodgy person, I would perhaps modify the SQL database and values would change. So there's no transparency. So I thought, okay, great, there's this thing called blockchain. Like, we could kind of incorporate this with racing. We could make it so that all of the lap times and all of the results are stored on a public ledger. They're transparent, they can't be modified by us. If you've won, it's 100th of a second faster than the other guy, that's cool. It's there, every single lap is registered. Timestamps, that's the most simplest way, timestamps of laps. Then we thought to ourselves, potentially, if we push this project as much as we're about to, we could have 100,000 gamers a day playing racing these games. So we thought, how the hell are we going to make every single car look different and customize digital assets? We thought to ourselves, if we were to create ERC1115 tokens on the Ethereum network, we could create digital assets where, using augmented reality, you could make this car look however you want it to look. So I wasn't about to go and get a team to go and change cars 100,000 times a day so that it looked like how the gamer wanted it to look. So we thought people can create these assets and they can modify them however they want. They can sell them on. It's something of value which you own, which we wouldn't own. Sooner or later, as with everything else, competition comes. Someone uses the idea, someone else releases something. This, as they would own it, they could take it to another platform. If they wanted, they could take it there rather than here with us. It's something that has value. These cars, when people win these competitions, they become worth something. People want to buy the winning car. So it would be the same as the asset. If you have the winning shell, you could sell that wherever it might be in the future, on eBay, for example, and people would assign a value to it, and they'd buy it if they're a fan of racing. So, these are the main two things that we're going to be using the blockchain for. We have an ERC20 token, it's called the Wira token. It's not up on any exchanges. I'm really sick of people trying to ask me to do IEOs and get it up onto all of these dodgy, I'm not going to name any names, but dodgy exchanges. So we just created it ourselves and we've been selling it. We've had an ICO going now since May. I haven't raised anywhere near my soft cap. I haven't even raised 100,000. I've raised in the tens of thousands. So we're nowhere near what we wanted. However, it's enough for us to kickstart and launch. So this is going to be launching really soon. I've got some guys in South Korea who have been helping me create a browser-based version of this game. Before that, it was software-based. We had a Mac version and a Windows version, and no one wanted to try it because nobody wanted to install or double-click on an exe file, especially in the cryptocurrency world. You know, I had questions like, if I double-click on this exe, are you trying to steal my private keys? I just want you to click on my game. I'm not interested in the amount of crypto you have. I've got crypto as well, you've got crypto, that's great. I just want you to try it. No one wanted to, so we started to work on the browser-based version. Now, I've discussed this with a few people. Sorry, I'm going too fast forward. The majority of the work on this project has been me. For a while I had a team, and they were great on paper. However, it worked out better for me to just do everything myself. The hardware, the software, the brands, the website, every single detail I've pretty much done myself with Wireless Racer. I have two main advisors. One of them is Nick Damon, the gentleman who I spoke about, who's known in the RC world and is a sports commentator. The other one is a gentleman called David Honey. Now, if any of you are really old school businessmen, you may recognise the name. David Honey is the founder of the Opta Index, which was sold to BSkyB in the 90s. He made a whole lot of money, and today it's become what's known as Opta Sports. Now, Opta Sports is the world's leading algorithm-based analytical sports statistics platform. David Honey's got so much in his head in regards to sports statistics performing the Opta Index that he thinks this is brilliant. And he thinks that combining it with blockchain, where everything's able to be transparent, everyone's in control of their own keys, everyone's in control of their own assets, this is the way forward. It's not just about robotics. The fact that you can control physical devices from your home and race against someone else, that's just the start. This is just because my foot's already in the door with these people. You know, I've spoken to, I could drop a couple of names. I've spoken to Tone Blaze, who I know my guy doesn't like. I've spoken to a guy called August from the Gadget Show. I've spoken to a guy called Ian Bayliss, who is a series director of Fifth Gear on TV. There's a whole lot of people who don't want to be mentioned as well. But anyway, I've got a lot of support for this project, and this project's about to launch perhaps next week, if not the week after. Now, everyone who's already got in and bought the Wira token are going to be laughing because they've all got it in the early bird, it was 10 cents, and I think now our smart contract still runs until October and it's for 20 cents. However, on our platform, we're going to start by selling for $1. We don't know if we're going to go on the exchanges yet because this isn't a way for people to make money. This is a game. If you want to play the game, you need to have our token. If you don't want to play, that's fine. No problem, you don't need the token. However, with the speed at which esports, robotics, IoT, data connections are going, this is what it's about now. The youngsters, are there any youngsters anyway? You said there's a 12.
Yeah, there's a few knocking about that was in the room at the moment.
So the youngsters have kind of had their fun with this whole pixelated graphic way of gaming where, you know, you hit into a wall and you respawn, yeah, brilliant. That's not real life. water to these areas, these regions of the world where children are having to walk for miles and miles and miles to get clean water. I said, okay, why don't we have these drone networks where these drones can go and drop off the food and the water when it's required. Whoever's going to put in the money to fund it, they can do it via the blockchain. We can all see exactly where it's gone. We can, again, keep track of where the drone has stopped off and whether it's been able to give its deliveries or not. This would eradicate corrupt governments. It would eradicate cartels on the ground who tend to go and intercept these packages. Again, physical digital movement, IoT, Internet of Things, Internet of Value. Please don't see this as a game and think it's a joke. It's not. This is about to blow up, and you're all going to see. I've actually come across another company recently who are starting to do something very similar, and they've just been seeded $2 million without a blockchain. If I wanted to do that, I could go to the Channel Islands tomorrow and get these old guys that live around the house of Barclay Brothers and say to them, listen, give me 100,000, let's do it. But I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way because this is new technology, and so is this. So is the blockchain. This is in its infancy still. If you think of a toddler, it's still learning to walk. So give it a couple of years and see the interaction between gaming, esports, physical digital movement, and of course the chain, and it's going to be a whole new world. So I don't know how much more I can ramble on, because like I said, I'm tired. You really have to excuse me. I work all hours. If I'm not on this, then I'm on this. However, the game chair is next door. You're all welcome to come and have a go. Hopefully it's not too laggy. There's a lot of us using the connection. But you can kind of see where it's going. And if you imagine from this small demo track, it actually being a really huge track in a massive warehouse. I've got a 47-page white paper, by the way. No one reads it because it's 47 pages. It was originally 60 and I had to cut it down. If any of you have the time to read it, please do. It goes through every single detail of the project, including down to the finances, how much is required and how much needs to be spent here and everywhere. However, please do come and have a go at the car. If you see the vision, if you see where we're trying to take it, and if you see how gaming and esports is going to be interacting with the chain and cryptocurrency, give me some ideas, please. Come and give me your details. I'm happy to work with anyone. I listed jobs available a few weeks ago. We started to hire people slowly. I'm currently paying in Bitcoin. It's about $2,000 a month. You get to work from home, and all you have to do is like Skype interview me every now and then, as long as you've got a decent skill set that could be relevant to the project. If you prefer XRP, I can pay in that instead of getting a lot quicker. But yeah, please, so sorry it's not a great long speech like Scott gave.
That was enough.
But yeah, so this is what we're doing. The website's called wirelessracer.com. If you're interested, please just hit me up. I'm only next door. Yeah.
Super.
Your mic's not on.
Is it on now?
Yeah.
So, in terms of what we do, we teach people how to do cryptocurrency from the absolute basics, the absolute start, from the first time you've ever set eyes on Bitcoin, XRP, whatever you may have, and we go through that stage. So, in terms of how it all started, we actually started on Facebook, believe it or not. We literally had a Facebook group. This was before we actually incorporated the computer kind of element of the business, and it was when everyone was on fire, literally running around like, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. This was before the bull run. And it was actually pretty, ridiculous when you think of how far we've actually come in terms of the space. As Scott said in the opening keynote, we need adoption, but we also need to know how to actually physically do these things. And, I did a basic course, and yeah, usually it was quite good, 4,000 people. At this time, though, I was in the Air Force, I was like serving, and it was quite hard, but I eventually left, and this is where we've established and we've grown into. So we are getting a lot better, and we've got courses, we've got premium, and they come out in December 18, and ultimately we've also done our first community meetup in London. In terms of what we've got in terms of courses, now this isn't a sort of element of a pitch of a sales pitch, it's just to kind of highlight what is actually going on behind the scenes of the space. People realistically do not know what cryptocurrency is. We're the 1% essentially, maybe even less than that. And you've got to think, what is money, what is Bitcoin, blockchain, altcoins, all that kind of stuff like that. And to understand and to get that through to people, it's kind of, it's got to be done. We also then go into how to research coins, different types of altcoins, how to actually use physical exchanges, and then how to avoid the scams. We all know what happened in 2017 with BitConnect and stuff like that. So it's teaching people the absolute basics of what they should do in the industry, and then it obviously highlights on where we are going as a journey. Wallets and security, a lot of people have no idea how wallets work and security elements of that, and then you've got the ICOs and IEOs. But we also teach people how to actually grow their Bitcoin, how to grow their XRP, how to grow whatever asset they want via airdrops, staking, asset management, and the theory side, the fundamentals, and the technical side. We also have a full trading course. We teach people how to trade. I'm more of a positional trader / investor, leaders want more day trading, and ultimately we teach people how to use the likes of TradingView, how to use all the indicators there that can be used, and we develop people into making their own trading style. Because if you don't have a system, it doesn't work, and you've got to keep repeating it. And this is just an element of like 10% of what people want to do. Not everyone wants to trade, but it's always there. And then how to look after yourself essentially. How to hold your Bitcoin, when to hold your Bitcoin, when to buy altcoins, when to cash out. It's a moving market, whether you're a holder of whatever coin, you don't want to get completely burned out. And then how to use correct risk management with the likes of leverage trading, which is obviously where people want to go. I don't know why, but most people want to go leverage trading first before they actually understand how the fundamentals of the market really does work. In terms of premium, what we've got is, this is mainly designed for the experience of people who's already been in the market, the investor, the trader. We start from 99 pence for the first month essentially, and then £10 per month after that. And there's over 50 hours of footage on our platform. It's designed for that person who knows what they're doing, but also wants to get a bit more information, a bit more juice out of things. Weekly lessons based off demand of the community essentially. And if they want to learn about the MACD, they can learn about that. If they want to learn about this, that, and the other, we can go through them. We do a live Zoom every fortnight, so we're recorded on the platform. You can go back and watch all those. And we've also got the 2 Telegrams, an announcement channel and a member support channel. Basically, the announcement channel is like whatever trades that we may do, or any sort of information that you might want to see. But most importantly, the members VIP chat is like a simple element of be in and around with people who know their stuff as well. Help from others always helps in the community. But yeah, daily updates in the Telegram literally of what's happening on the chat as well, and we do a one-on-one support call as well. In terms of how the platform looks, some basic images up there. It's very, very simple. You can see us over in the other suite next door. We've got a stand there, but that's essentially how it looks. It's pretty neat and tidy, and we have a lot of information on there. I think it's about 80 hours of footage including the course now, and that is growing nearly every week, so it's pretty crazy. And how our platform realistically looks when you're doing a lesson and some of our reviews. I'm going to hand you over to Lee now, who's going to talk about the meetups and the local clubs now.
Okay, afternoon guys. Looks like the audio isn't working. We should have looked at that before.
Sorry about that, or
Yeah, that's alright. It's only a little bit of light music anyway. It's only just a short 1-minute video just to show our first community meetup that we held in London in January this year. So we booked a venue in the Swan at the Globe Theatre, which is a bar and restaurant right on the River Thames, overlooking on the South Bank, overlooking St Paul's. We put a message out to our existing community and asked if anyone would be willing to attend the community meetup. So yeah, there's just a few highlights. It's done on an open forum basis, so myself and Ash done a little bit of a chat just to say what the future of the business was going to be in terms of our educational courses and the premium service that we were looking to launch. That's actually where we launched it. So yeah, what we're looking to do is crypto mob meetups. What you just saw in the video there is the first one that we held in January this year. And we're aiming to do these based on demand around the local areas in each country, starting obviously in the UK. Being in England, there's a fair few counties, and we're looking at finding the right sort of people within our existing community to bring friends and family along and people that are interested in cryptocurrency to come and learn more about investing, trading, and how to be involved in the industry. It's not all about investing and trading. We're working towards blockchain courses at the moment, so it's quite involved, and we've got other lines of the business which Mark will touch on later. But basically, the overview of each of the meetups is that we'll hold an educational talk with some latest industry updates, and if there's any demands from the community about anything in particular they want to talk about, we can go through that and give our thoughts on it, basically. And then we'll open up a forum for Q&A from the members. They can come to us and we can try and come to any resolutions for anything they've got queries with. But it could be something that we want to look at to do in a future meeting. And then afterwards, in a relaxed networking environment, we have food and drinks. So we had a few drinks in London last time, which was quite funny. Some of the members got a bit carried away. We take some money out of the community funds that we obviously make from the premium of the course sales to reinvest back into the community. So we put some good food and drinks on and make sure everyone's having a good time. Events is something we're working towards, and we're looking at actually announcing soon our first UK national event in 2020. So Scott and the guys have done a good job here today. We're looking to do something on this scale, possibly bigger, to include major corporates and industry leaders from the sectors of blockchain, in cryptocurrency, trading and exchanges, and starting to go towards the fintech and services side of it in terms of legal and accountancy. So it's an opportunity for the industry to showcase its latest developments and new concepts. Public entry tickets will be available for retail investors, enthusiasts, and anyone that wants to learn more about it. So it's going to be just a generalised event that anyone can come talk to who you want in terms of looking at the sponsors via the website. There's going to be a lot of, we're hoping at the moment, a lot of exchanges, and particularly in gaming and finance, we're having some good discussions with people at the moment. We're trying to get the right sorts of people in the room, the likes of PricewaterhouseCoopers, JP Morgan, to come and actually have a stand there. So yeah, as we said, it will cover a variety of areas, and there will be zoned into areas, so blockchain, DLT, finance, gaming, and particularly the compliance side, which is important for us here in the UK. There's no firm guidance yet, other than what was launched in December last year from HMRC, so a lot of people are in the dark when it comes to tax and accounting at the moment. There's obviously various guidance that they did launch regarding income tax and capital gains tax, but a lot of people aren't aware of that, and there's a bit of a grey area between the two of them, and between how a lot of people class their assets, whether they're holding them as an investment or they're day trading. So again, local events are going to be like the mob meets you've already discussed, but they're going to be regionalised. So we think that there's probably not going to be enough demand for a meeting frequency in every town, say, each month. So we're looking at doing regionalised events, possibly once a quarter, so one down in the south, one in the Midlands and one up north, or something like that. We're looking for our member feedback from the existing community, and obviously new members that come in to tell us what they'd like to see. They're going to be designed for members to enhance their networks and meet new people within the industry. Scott touched this morning that this is an industry that's going to change a lot of people's lives. There's a lot of people with good ideas about business that could be involved via blockchain or cryptocurrency. So we're looking for those people to come forward via our community and talk to us and talk to other like-minded people in the room. You never know who's sitting in this room today. There might be an investor or someone that can help you out, someone that can help you elevate to the next level and take it forward as a proper business. We'll hold a different seminar at each event, which will ensure we're giving continuous learning and development for our members, as well as competitions and giveaways. And talking about that, we've just done our first small giveaway, which has been used from referral fees, the community members that have signed up via our Bybit account. So we've just given away $50 in Bitcoin, and we've got a competition running now for $250 giveaway. If you come and see us in the other suite afterwards, we'll drop you the link, and you can jump in our Telegram group as well by scanning our QR code via the website. as our business develops, we're looking to promote from within our community. So we've already had some people come forward. We've got members from all over the world at the moment, which is quite good, being such an early business. But yeah, we're looking for them to come up and work for us or with us as a family community-based business. So that's it for me for now. If you've got any questions, you can see me at the end in the other suite. I'm going to hand you across to Mark, who's going to touch on the accreditation and some aspects of the business.
Good afternoon, guys. So we're looking to go through CPD accreditation, so continuing professional development. It's not really a common place in cryptocurrency, so we're probably going to be one of the first in the UK to do this. This will, like it says there, enable us to do workshops and seminars, conference and meetups, and get more support within our community meetups as well. For the e-learning, the structured forms of learning we provide online already. So what we're also going to be offering is legal services for businesses, so from crypto tax, and we'll partner with lawyers to support new startups and people already involved in business that want to learn about the accountants, taxation for businesses within crypto. So you can learn to manage your crypto assets as an individual or as a business as well. Then we're looking to obviously go further into blockchain education, partner with some larger blockchain education providers so they can find out the viability and use cases in their business solutions as well, see if that works or benefits them in any way. As we saw in 2017 with ICOs and things like that, crypto tokens don't always ensure that you've got a good business. Just providing a token is not really sufficient. You need to go deeper in there, understand the tokenomics, structure the business, how that token can benefit your business, if at all. And then we'll look to leverage our existing contacts in crypto space to offer marketing and consultancy, as well as some other legal services for more detailed blockchain education along the way. Offering jobs opportunities like that for full stack developers, even social influencers. We've got, of course, social influence on our platform as well. So if it's an industry you're looking to get involved in, then there's something for everyone within our platform. So it really is there for everybody to get involved. So any further questions for anybody?
Any questions I have? I'm legitimately just forgot it because I'm talking to you now, but that's CPD, so continuous progressive development. How far along are you? Because that's official, that.
Yeah.
That's legitimate there when you're like, I don't know how many people do continued learning. But say for instance, if you was a personal trainer or anything like that, you do a personal trainer course at level 3, you'd then be training. But what happens 5 years later if you've done nothing else? You do CPD courses throughout the years to prove that you're still capable and you're still competent in that field. So that is legitimately, if you get CPD coverage and you're official at a class of CPD points, you're official in my opinion then, and that is it's as official as you can get in development. How far along are you on what's the ins and outs of that?
From completion, but we're working on that for the past 9 months. So.
Right. So just a matter of several weeks and bang, you are online as an official CPD learning.
It took us quite a long time at the start to get through, because being in the sector and being around.
It is.
Same with you guys with the bank
Sure,
situation.
Everyone just wants to backhand you, don't they? It's like
Typically, you've got crypto in your name, and it's like nobody wants to touch you. So
so you're relatively close tonight. So that's quite impressive. Well done,
It took about 4 or 5 weeks just to classify what categories we were going to go into as an educational company.
Super.
Once we'd done all that legwork, and it was going through other details in terms of the market not being regulated and having discussions about taxation and stuff mostly.
Right, so you were just going to run a blockchain fundamentals workshop and then expand from that with other CPD courses?
No, all
of
our courses that we host on the platform will be covered by the CPD accreditation. So they'll all be CPD accredited. And then following on from that, if you go over 5 courses, because we're looking to add on further courses for blockchain, etc., then we need to get reassessed again, and then we'll be assessed every 2 years.
So starting with trading courses, and then down the line expanding into other blockchain-related courses.
The basic full course that we've got starts from, obviously, Ash touched on it, what is money, what is Bitcoin, because a lot of people just hear someone talking about it down the pub, jump in and go, a bit of that, and go and buy something, they don't actually understand what they're investing in.
Well, that's why I call this DLTCONUK, break the mold and sick of blockchain and sick of that Bitcoin thing.
Yeah.
It's DLT, it's distributed ledger technology, of course. It's not just blockchain, it's not just crypto, it's not just a currency. Much more to it. You got, well,
So
done,
many more layers
yeah.
of blockchain anyway, isn't there? So
Yeah, so obviously we're doing announcements on socials once that's all done.
Yeah, well,
We're aiming to
more
be the
chat.
first accredited UK course provider for cryptocurrency education, so if we get that, it's going to help us with the next stage of the business plan. Start
Definitely.
educating people further.
Yeah, I'll have a chat about it soon and you'll sweet mate, or definitely I'm interested
Has
in
anyone else got anything else for us?
Are you aware of any courses being run in colleges and universities?
I haven't personally come across any yet, but
There is blockchain ones, like
there's
specific
blockchain patterns, yeah.
but nothing for like the basics on how to handle cryptocurrency efficiently and properly. Because you all know what happens on social media, you just get pedaled through the same funnel. But blockchain definitely is proper courses there. Oxford.
Developer education,
Yeah, I think the university courses, you're more likely to see them on the mining and consensus aspects, so your proof of work, proof of consensus, proof, all the different actual algorithms and ways you can actually create a blockchain. They'll be learning that at the moment, and then obviously it will, as it innovates and progresses, you'll see more courses, maybe dripping down to people who understand it a little more. Like I was trying to say before, it's the only courses that are going to be out in any university at the moment is ones teaching code and teach how to actually build it. Whereas what these guys are doing is teaching just the general public how to, like we're saying, to take this knowledge, to take what we know, the fact that we're way ahead of the game and run with it, and hopefully end up extremely happy people. That's a big all and all of it. Regardless of what ends up in your bank, regardless of how diversified your portfolio seems, that is all irrelevant in the end, as long as you're happy. What's in your bank? What the fuck me, I'm happy.
I have a discussion.
That's what everyone should be saying when they're asked that question. That's what the world needs to strive to. So yeah, guys, I can't wait to have a little chin while it's on.
Yeah, the University of Kent, I live in Kent, so we're talking to them at the moment. They have started like a cryptocurrency sort of club, and they've got a finance lecturer who's looking into doing something. So we're looking at a possible partnership with them at the moment, but we haven't taken any further than that at this stage. Anybody else?
No one else, no.
And what would you say the appetite is in the UK overall for this kind of education?
We found it's high, but we found a lot of education being overpriced. Obviously, there are competitors in the market, some of them being good, some of them being very poor. My personal opinion is that a lot of people that started it earlier than we did, mugging people off, they're charging in some cases thousands of pounds. Our full course is £250, which I don't think is an unrealistic price. It's quite simple to get a return on investment out of that. People charging £3,000 for a one-day course in London and things like that, I think is milking the market. Obviously, everyone's entitled to do what they want. Obviously, our Facebook community's got 3,300 members in it at the moment. Telegram, just over 800 now, 850. So we're starting to build up slowly, but we've found retention rates good for people that are subscribing for premiums. They obviously like the content that we're providing, as well as the enhanced education we provide via the premium. We also put our trade calls and analysis in the Telegram as well. So that's as an announcement channel, and the VIP chat for the members is an open forum. So some of our competitors just closed off and they just get the signals or the charts. We give them a breakdown of it and it's open for everyone to discuss, and we can see where we went right or wrong. So,
Thanks.
It will end up the new Forex. They're only getting CBDC'd in the end. So the course of the tokenisation of fiat currency, that's the course in 12 months. Not already. Talk about how far China are along with them. It's about to blow up. So the appetite within this, I mean, let's have it right. If everyone in here now could just throw 20 quid on the table and walk away knowing us all about indicators and how to trade a little bit, it's valuable information, isn't it? But it's only when we see more maturity, we'll get the general public like, well, yeah, I feel like I can make some money off that. Just like they do with Forex courses now, basically. It'll be the same kind of appetite, but just slightly changed because everything's been tokenised.
it's the regulation, isn't it? I think that's going to lead to
Regulatory clarity,
and that's
next 12 to 18
It's
months.
also going to smooth the market and make it less volatile. You had a question, sir?
You go into detail in regards to the individual cryptocurrencies.
a lot of people don't have much knowledge on a lot of them, particularly the ones say at the top 10, top 20.
We actually teach it. We teach it. We teach people how to research, literally how to go from A to Z, how to research a coin to make your own decision. We don't recommend any coins in our course, because why should I? There's courses out there and they're touching it in the open market. I'm not going to mention any names, but you can pay up to £4,000 literally, and it will give you a breakdown of all the coins. It doesn't mean anything. If you know when to buy, when to sell, that's the main thing you need to know. People get too emotionally attached to coins for the wrong reasons, and we teach people how to do your own research, how to do your own kind of analysis, and make your own decisions. And I have a YouTube channel. I go through coins on there all the time, but ultimately, people do still want you to make the decisions for them. I'm not okay with that, because it's like, well, why should I? You should know what you're buying. You don't go into the stock market and go, well, I'm going to buy this because X, Y, and Z said so. You always do your research. You don't buy a car without test driving it here. That's always my theory on it, and we literally teach you from A to Z how to research a coin, how to buy it, how to do everything, like step by step. But our Telegram is there for our information, our experience, our knowledge, and we'll help people make those kind of decisions a bit easier if they're like, oh, what about this? What do you think about this? Always helps. If that answers your question, anyways.
Yeah, a little bit. I've more meant, say if somebody said, oh, for example, I don't know, I heard about Cardano, what's that? What's Holo Chain? Do you know much about that? Do you then go into detail on those individual cryptocurrencies to help them understand them better?
No.
Yeah, we have member requests as well, so the guys can request in there what they want to touch on. And for the premium members, when we did the fortnightly Zoom calls, obviously all the premium members can jump on them, and we put out a Q&A before and say, what do you want to discuss? So if you had a coin, you can chuck it in there, and we'll take a look at it, do some live analysis on it, look through some of the fundamentals as well. There's a lot of videos as well that actually stuff on YouTube. Come and find us after. You can get the details for the socials and find them via the website. You can have a look at the sort of content he puts on there. He's done a lot of coin reviews. Anyone else?
Good come and see you in the other room.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for listening. Yeah, come and see us in the other room.
Privilege, and it's an honour to actually support you guys doing this fantastic event. So well done, Scott and the LFC group for putting on a great event today. Those were the original guys who actually inspired us to set up SPQR Media in the first place. It opened our minds to what was actually possible within this space. And what we did, just researchers, people who are passionate about XRP, ILP, etc., we decided to form SPQR and have a little bit of fun, look at it from a different angle. And we deliberated between us, within our group, what we were going to do today. And we're known within the community for doing deep dive research, thinking outside the box a little bit, conspiracy. We might throw in the odd Clinton or the odd Rockefeller or Rothschilds, which we are going to go and do today. We're just going to do a traditional deep dive and do what we feel we do best, because I think that's all we do really know. So, hands up in the room if everybody's heard this new world order everybody's been talking about. Level the playing field. Yeah, we all have, yeah? Well, what we're going to try to show you today is that there's one company out there behind it all. And we've been working on this research, which we're going to present to you today by reading books, going through lots of PDF documents. Kurt's been through loads of PDF documents in the past. I've had these conversations, a bit of burnout there, yeah? Yeah, and what we wanted to do, we wanted to really put on a good show for you guys today. So, can you put up the first slide page down there? So first, these companies, Sky, well, I don't know, I've got Sky TV at home, as a lot of other people. People in America watch CNBC, NBC, CBS, obviously the films Warner Brothers, Paramount and Fox. And there's one company that is a majority shareholder in all of those companies. Can you go on to the next slide, please? The press. Again, the same company is majority shareholder in these companies. So basically, they're in control of what we're watching on TV, in control of what we're seeing in the press. And now can we go on to the next one? Fast food. So not only are they in control of the TV, the press and the food, they own, next slide please, Andy. But people also sell the food. And now the next slide please, Andy. Now the oil, where the real money is. So what was quite interesting when I saw this, sometimes they're not direct investors in these companies. They're investors of the investors within these companies. Because what they try to do, they try to sometimes make it not as blatantly obvious as being shareholder in all of these companies. So when you actually work out percentages and get the calculator out and stuff like that, it usually works out that they've got what, between 10 to 15% of all of these companies through shares elsewhere, etc., etc. Insurance companies. They're the biggest insurance companies in the world. And obviously AIG, they're in the middle of that financial crash in 2008. Obviously they were the ones who got the buyout because they were the ones who were insuring Lehman Brothers, or the people who were betting that Lehman Brothers were going to go down, they were making sure that they were going to get paid. Next slide. Pharmaceutical. So obviously we've had the Johnson & Johnson scandal with talcum powder that supposedly gives you cancer. I don't know. But there are some big players up there pharmaceutical-wise. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you over to, let's say, the curator, Andy, another member of SPQR, and he's now going to talk through some of these other slides. And we will bring it all together, it will all become relevant by the end, I do promise you that.
So, thanks for that, Liz. Okay, guys, so the company that's behind all of those majority shareholders, the major shareholders with all of those companies, is Vanguard Group. Has anybody here heard of Vanguard Group before? A few people, not too many. So by the end of the day, you're going to have a good idea about who Vanguard are, what they do, kind of some of the people that are maybe behind Vanguard and where it leads on to. So I'm going to read some of the stuff out of here. I'm not going to read all of it because that would just be really boring. So Vanguard Group's an American company. Who's from America? Some guys from America. How are you doing, guys? Welcome. So Vanguard Group's a registered investor advisor based in Melbourne, Pennsylvania, with over $5.3 trillion in assets. Does anybody know another company that holds over $5 trillion of assets in the world? There's not many out there. If not, I don't think there is any out there that hold it. Maybe BlackRock, maybe. So under the management, it's the largest provider of mutual funds and the second largest provider of exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, in the world after BlackRock's iShares. So in addition to the mutual funds and ETFs, Vanguard offers brokerage services, variable and fixed annuities, educational account services, financial planning, asset management and trust services. So it was actually founded by somebody called John C. Bogle, and is credited with the creation of the first index, the index fund available to individual investors, and was a proponent and major enabler of low-cost investments by individuals. Vanguard structured as a mutual company, and it's owned by the funds managed by the company. So actually, when you go on to have a look at it, try and find out who is behind Vanguard, you can't find them. You can't find the individual investors within Vanguard. It's just nowhere there. We've tried, we've had a look. We've tried for 2 months to really go deep down, try and find out who these people are. You can't find them. They're not on the internet. You can find out the heads of the company, but the individual investors, you can't find out who they are because it's all layered. It's layered on layered on layered. You can't find them.
There is one document which we found eventually, but because it's confidential information, which I did find online, from Russian intelligence services. Russian intelligence services. And when I found it, I was like, oh, you know, not again. Because but some of the companies, some of the individuals which come up within that document were the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bushes, the Clintons, the Dick Cheneys, and mobsters, and talking about funding arms and so on and so forth, and it got really, really dark. And at that point, I kind of thought, that's as far as I'm kind of willing to take this. I'm not prepared to share that document here today because it's obviously confidential information. I don't know where we're leaving me legally as an individual, and I don't want black vans turning up inside of my house tomorrow and getting smuggled to wherever I would go. Yeah, over to you guys. Oh, what, we shut down?
Yeah, it's low battery on the laptop.
Alright.
It's not our laptop, our iPhone. It's not our
Yeah. So guys, what did you think about when we obviously first kind of saw the shareholders of all those companies from one?
If you do look at yourselves, you'll notice there's 5 or 6 companies, and all say once you get to a certain point, you cannot find who owns them. It's impossible to find. So somebody can find them unless you just go, I'll bet me money on it that you can't. And it's not just one, this is the main one, but there's another 3 or 4 as well that you can also look at for your own knowledge if you wanted to.
Of course. They're not a traditional company. There is no shareholders. They're actually run by their investors. When you do your research on valuing yourself, which I would, hopefully you guys will go away and check our information. They are run by the investors in their mutual funds, and those remain anonymous. And the crazy thing in all this, they've actually patented a system which enables their mutual fund holders not to pay tax in the United States of America. Corrupt as fuck, right?
So you imagine all of the companies, and I mean the major companies in the world, all invested in these ETFs, they don't pay taxes. No taxes at all, whatsoever. That's just fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they talk about like Amazon coming to the United Kingdom and using offshore accounts and tax and stuff like that. But it's okay. It's okay for them to do that because they bring so many jobs to our nation and so on and so forth. Yeah, I get that. And it does help the economy. Like me, I'm an electrical contractor by trade, have my own company, and I do work for Amazon. So they've helped me quite a lot over the last couple of years. Is this slide going to come back up, or?
Legitimately, we'll have to get a schedule restart.
Should we just carry on? Well, some of you might be wondering why we're talking about this company in the first place, and we've sort of, we as you said, deliberated on, what to cover and what to go into, and this company kept on just cropping up, didn't they? Just cropping up here, there, and everywhere. And literally this week, sort of, was it Monday?
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, it was announced that next week, representative from Ripple is going to be on stage with Vanguard. Representative from Vanguard. So this is one of the reasons why we're kind of looking at these guys now and we're sort of thinking, well, it's fairly significant to go into. But so it's the organisation for OECD, isn't it?
OECD.
Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development Conference. I believe it's in Paris, 12th and 13th of the month. And so our friends from Ripple are going to be on sharing stage with representative from Vanguard as well. So that's one of the reasons why we started looking at these guys a bit further.
Here we are. Yes.
Okay, so Russian intelligence. So, a couple of months back, in December last year. So who's kind of aware of SPQR? Do you all know who we are?
Yeah.
A few people. Yeah. Okay. All right. So basically, our channel, we do a lot of deep dive coverage of DLT, of geopolitical, and we kind of try and tie it into Ripple in a way. And in December, we were presented with some information in relation to the Trump administration. I don't want to get too much into it because we didn't release the information. but it's corrupt. Yeah, we can't say a lot purely because if it gets out there, we don't want like CIA people knocking on our door going, guys, what are you talking about? Show me this information.
Yeah, next slide then.
Yeah, let's just move on. Let's move on from that. Okay, so in November 1910, 6 men, all named there. So they met at the Jekyll Island Club off the coast of Georgia. And they've written a plan to reform the nation's banking system, and the meeting and its purpose was closely guarded secret at the time. And participants didn't admit to any meetings that occurred until the 1930s. But the plan, written on Jekyll Island, laid the foundations for what we eventually call the Federal Reserve System. You all know what the Federal Reserve System is, what it does. Jekyll and Hyde Club, Jekyll and Hyde book.
Yeah, it's Creature.
Jekyll Island.
Yeah.
Creature from Jekyll
It's
Island.
good. If you've read it, good book, Creature, I think it's Creature from Jekyll Island or something like that. And it goes into the realms which I would share with if you've got any teenagers or anything like that who are growing up and they want to know what money is, how it's created, who it's controlled by. Give that book to your children so they actually understand what money actually is. Because I've been through this education journey over the last, let's say, 2 years since I've been into the crypto game. And I admit I did not know what money was, and I even worked in the banking system. And now, today, I would like to say that I actually understand how we create. The reason the Federal Reserve was set up in the first place was to monopolise the market and to control the non-backed from anything currency, which is absolute insanity. So they can just print money however they want. Next slide, Andy. So what we did, I wanted to have a look at all the members within the Jekyll Island meeting to see the banks that were involved at that original meeting. And there's this guy called Nelson Aldrich. And I'll let you read, Andy.
So Nelson Aldrich was a particular person who was deeply committed to the efficiency model of the progressive era. So he believed that his financial and trade policies would lead to great efficiencies. Reforms, however, denounced him as representative of evils of big business. So people were already at that time saying, oh my God, what's going on? New World Order, all that sort of stuff coming out. And so he was one of kind of, you'd say, the forefathers of massive corporate, really. Of course. So his daughter actually, so his daughter Abigail married into the Rockefeller family, of which Nelson became a representative of the Rockefeller.
So that's who he was representing at that meeting at Jekyll Island, was the Rockefeller family.
Excuse me, could you speak into the microphone? I can't hear a word.
Is that better?
That's 100% better, thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, so his daughter, Abby, she was a philanthropist, married into the Rockefeller family, and their second son, Nelson, was a four-term governor of New York who campaigned for the Republican presidential nomination in 1960, 1964, and 1968, and was named vice president under President Gerald Ford by the Congress in 1974. So I suppose the link comes into this in the fact that the Rockefeller family, we know that they're very much into the financial world and control a lot of the world's monies and companies. And actually, it goes deeper than that. It goes into politics. It goes into administration, and that goes right the way back. So John Owen Brennan, so as a former intelligence official who served as the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. So he served as chief counterterrorism advisor to Barack Obama, and deputy national security advisor for Homeland Security and counterterrorism, and assistant to the president. Where does this fall into? Well, so Rockefeller Capital has added John J. Jack Brennan, former chairman and CEO of Vanguard, talking about Vanguard here. So he's the former CEO of Vanguard, and he's been added to that, and it's just absolutely crazy.
And I wanted to have a look at the shareholders as well, because obviously Nelson was representing the Rockefeller family at this meeting. But his son, Winfrey, not sure on the pronunciation, he actually served as the chairman of the Chase National Bank. So I'm right, okay, so there's ties to obviously Nelson, Winthrop, and obviously John Owen Brennan, who's obviously worked with the Rockefeller family to date. And so I wanted to look at JP Morgan and Chase because obviously the son was chairman of Chase before it became JP Morgan Chase. And Vanguard are the largest shareholder on this file of 7.65% of JP Morgan Chase. So now we'll go on to the next individual in this meeting. We've got Frank A. Vanderlip, and basically, what was it, National City Bank, which is now Citibank. He was representing them. And guess who's top shareholder of Citibank? Vanguard again, 7.98%. Can we go on to the next one? We'll skip through this bit. And then there's Henry Davidson, representing JP Morgan at the time. In 1909, he became senior partner at JP Morgan and Company. And then in the Bankers Trust was a historic banking organisation. The bank merged with Alex Brown and Sons before being acquired by Deutsche Bank in 1999. So let's go and have a look at the shareholders of Deutsche Bank. Vanguard, the second largest shareholder of Deutsche Bank. Can we go to the next slide then? And then this guy as well, he's connected to Bankers Trust. Benjamin Strong. Strong became a vice president of the Bankers Trust in 1909, which is now obviously owned by Deutsche Bank. So now can we go on to the next one? Paul Warburg, who's an American investment banker born in Germany, and he was connected to the DLTCONUK company. And the Warburgs were the parents of a son, James Paul Warburg, and daughter to Tina Warburg-Grimson. Warburg was elected a director of Wells Fargo and Company in 1910. He resigned in 1914 following his appointment to the Federal Reserve Board. So we looked at Wells Fargo, again, Vanguard there, one of the largest shareholders. Can you go back? And then we've got, I can't read that. It's about American Express because Conan Loeb and Lehman Brothers merged and then American Express acquired them in 1984. So we looked at the largest shareholders of American Express again, and again Vanguard are the second largest shareholders behind Berkshire Hathaway. But remember Berkshire Hathaway, because we'll come back to that later on. And then we've got top 10 share owners of Berkshire Hathaway. Because remember, if we go back to those other slides here, it's Berkshire Hathaway, SSGA, BlackRock, and Vanguard. Well, Vanguard are top shareholders in Berkshire Hathaway. So we know Berkshire Hathaway invested in Bank of America. Well, Vanguard have got large shares in Berkshire Hathaway, so inadvertently invested in Bank of America. But let's have a look at the top 10 owners of BlackRock. It's come out recently about PNC back and RippleNet, right? Well, everybody said, PNC Bank are large shareholders of BlackRock. Well, so are Vanguard, 5.65% being the largest one. But then what we looked at was PNC Financial. You look at that, and they're the largest shareholder of PNC Financial.
Vanguard's over it all.
It is everywhere. It's absolute. When I was doing this, every company I searched, which I was looking for, it was Vanguard. It was Vanguard. It was Vanguard. And literally, I couldn't believe my eyes as this was building in front of me. And SSGA Funds Management, another company, which kept popping up, who were shareholders in all these other companies. Vanguard, the third largest shareholder. And then Fidelity, the first largest shareholder in Fidelity. And it's just insanity. Next slide, please, Andy. And it then brings us on to, right, let's start tying this back into what we're here to talk about today at Ripple and XRP, because that's what you've got to do, right? So basically, they're behind all the companies we buy food, on TV, on news, and everything else in the world. They're all over our banks and financial institutions. They're over the creation of our money and our Federal Reserve. And, I'll let you read this, I'll let you read this one.
Once he gets going, he gets going.
Oh,
read the right side.
Read the right side. Okay, so it basically says SPI and Vanguard announces an opening because it's written in English underneath it. So okay, so SPI Securities announced that it will be participating in the creation of a joint brand fund, SPI Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund, between the SPI Group and Vanguard, and will start recruiting on the 12th of September.
This is like next week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's next week. That's next week. So SPI Group and Vanguard will further deepen the partnership over 10 years and launch a joint brand with the names of both companies. The fund is set up and managed by SPI Asset Management and invest in the VOO, aforementioned, and the ETF that aim to be linked to the performance of the S&P 500 index managed by Vanguard. This is the first domestic investment trust that incorporates the ETF VOO, which is particularly popular among Vanguard ETF products. The trust fee rate is also the lowest in the industry, and this fund has been submitted as a notification to the Financial Services Agency as a Sumata NISA eligible product that meets legal requirements, general special accounts, NISA accounts, and Sumata NISA accounts, and will be able to invest as little as 100 yen. Don't forget, ETFs through Vanguard don't pay tax. So anybody who's investing through SPI, through the fund, will not pay tax for their investments.
So, Vanguard and SPI are in bed, and SPI is in bed with Ripple, because we all know that, yeah. Let's do next slide. Oh, I like one.
Okay, so this one, Symbiont, is probably one of the most important connections within the whole kind of frame. Okay, so Symbiont's partnering with Vanguard to automate its collection of CRSP benchmark data, which helps mutual fund giants allocate 17 of its funds. Symbiont said it sees the potential to bring blockchain to a host of areas in traditional finance, and index data is just the beginning. Vanguard has been utilising Symbiont's blockchain performance since February, and after 3 months of testing, the pair announced the partnership next week. We were talking about contracts. Yeah, Symbiont is the lead creator of contracts for Vanguard. So all of the ETFs, all of the data that runs through, all of the
that line there at the end as well, it does, which enables the creation of custom user tokens and smart contracts, personal ledgers.
Yeah. So you're talking about the S&P 500, all of the data, all of the what do you call them? All of the trades that are going to be running through that.
Better run through that.
Are going to run through that eventually. We haven't got a timeline. We don't know when that is. Okay. So the Ripple connection. So Symbiont, the blockchain-based fintech startup, has gap between mainstream finance and crypto financial technology, has announced its first product, a Ripple gateway for counterparty, over which XCP.
I think that's a typo.
I think that's a typo. I hope it's a typo. Have you heard of XCP before? No, okay, it's a typo. Yeah, it's a typo. So counterparty is native currency, blah blah blah. Basically, you can read that. Yeah.
Well, basically, they've got a Ripple gateway. Basically,
they've got a Ripple gateway. Yeah. So Symbiont have got a Ripple gateway. Where do you think that's going to go?
Exactly. No brainer, right?
No brainer.
Should we move on?
MoneyGram.
Oh, I like this one. I like this one.
Go on.
Right, so MoneyGram, obviously we know about Ripple's investment in MoneyGram, and obviously their utilisation of using X-Rapid, which they're going to ramp up in Q4 this year. Well, thank God, our third largest shareholders in them. And BlackRock are at number 4. And we've got some internet, some nice little connections here, which it takes it geopolitically now. This is what I know. So could you open up some way? You're going to have to exit out and take a minute. Because, oh, hey, you're giving it away.
Mate, I'm giving it to you. What am I doing? Seriously. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm just going to have to go down. I don't want to ruin the party. I don't want him to blow his load.
Escape.
No, because I need to.
What was it? It's a question. Someone's got a question. Oh yeah.
That XCP, it's not a typo.
Is it not? No.
Counterparty.
Counterparties are
there you go.
financial
Thank
platform
you.
distributed open source internet protocol built on top of the Bitcoin blockchain and network. It was one of the most well-known Bitcoin 2.0 platforms in 2014, along with Mastercoin, Ethereum, Colorcoin, Ripples, and BitShares. That is probably looking at, like I was saying before, are you going to swap Bitcoin to this and that?
Yeah.
It was looking at doing it without ILP. That was 4 years ago, before you told me in 2015.
Yeah.
And from then on, we saw all the ripples and basically just
Thank you.
flipped it over. But yeah, connecting, supporting Ethereum virtual machines, supporting Bitcoin, BitShares, but yeah, all about it, not on there,
Yeah, just have a conversation with yourselves.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Regarding the SDI on the launch of the 12th, is that the reason why the SDI is going to provide dividend on the XRP for the people that invest, since they want to increase the liquidity?
Yeah, I understand, and it's a great question, and I actually didn't think about that. But I would imagine that would be the case, but obviously we can't guarantee that because we're not privy to this information. But they could be paying these tax-free dividends through XRP.
Can you repeat the question so that you're on the stream?
Right, so can you repeat the question?
Yeah, is the launch, does the launch have to do, the launch on the 12th of September,
Yeah.
does that have to do anything with the incentive that SBI is providing to new investors that invest up until September 30th for them to get incentivized by very XRP as long as they own a minimum of 100 shares?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a very, very good question, and to be honest with you, I didn't think about that until then, because they've just announced, haven't they, that they're going to...
SBI and I need liquidity and I need to pump the stock, and you know what I mean? I need to create a way.
Now, it makes sense even now. It makes sense even more, but obviously they've got they're paying out dividends tax-free through XRP.
The other question I had was the creation of the ETFs. Do you guys have a date, by any chance, of the Vanguard ETF creation? Was that 1910?
It was within the week research, and I cannot remember the exact date, but it is within the research. If you see me afterwards, I'll be more than happy to share that information with you, okay? But what I didn't want to do, I wanted to, because there's so much information that we're going through here, we wanted to, let's say, scan the information as we went. Can you go on into next door, mate?
There we go.
Yes. Here we go. So this is where it gets geopolitical, guys. So this is quite interesting, the next 3 pages. So that...
Okay, so unfinancial. We all aware who unfinancial are? Yeah.
Part of the animal
majority
and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So I'm just going to go through the summary of what this article is. So Unfinancial and Vanguard have entered into an agreement. Vanguard funds will be offered through Unfinancial's platforms, and there's been an experiment in the distribution of other companies' financial products. And the Vanguard tie-up is another means by which Unfinancial is distributing the financial services across China. So pretty much Unfinancial are the kind of the largest software provider in terms of DLT in China, and it's all kind of fitting in place, really. Of course. So Unfinancial, two of the world's largest financial companies, formed a partnership that may bring Vanguard's products to the Chinese investors. So again, you've got another link there. So Unfinancial, when you're talking about...
There you go, perfect.
Yeah.
Third party.
Third party. So Invesco have entered into a joint venture, Invesco Great Wall, last year, which saw the introduction of one of Invesco's funds added to Ant's platform assets in a fund that quadrupled to $31.5 billion since the initiation of the joint venture. Additionally, 6 of the fund's companies are understood to be participating in a 1-year pilot program with Ant Financial.
So, if just to sort of explain the thread here, we were obviously looking at Vanguard, and we've sort of pulled various threads, and some of you may have seen an interview recently with a Chinese billionaire, exiled Chinese billionaire called Miles Kwok, and I think Sam did a kind of dive into that recently. So that kind of got me looking at Jack Ma, the former CEO of Alibaba. He made some kind of wild predictions about his future. in that interview where he doesn't think he's got much of a future. If you go and watch it sometime, it's a very, very interesting interview. However, so obviously we know about the deal with Ant Financial and MoneyGram being blocked before Ripple then became a shareholder in MoneyGram. And then we've got to look at Vanguard. We've got Vanguard and Ant Financial linking up here together. And then this article just brings in Invesco as well as another company that I just thought, well, I'll have a little look at them. Which brings us on to the next article, and if you could just quickly bring that next one up. So, Invesco thrives in China as former executive Wilbur Ross leads Trump's trade war. So the former investment company of US Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross has been flourishing in China even as he marshals in billions of dollars worth of punishing tariffs in America's deepening trade war. So this guy who's looming over us is a fairly significant guy who, if you just go down a little bit further, thank you. Yeah, he's a US money manager, from Invesco Limited, for which Ross was senior executive from 2006 until he joined Trump's cabinet in February 2017. Has become the top foreign manager of Chinese money in China over the past year through its joint venture Invesco Great Wall Management. In an unlikely success story, that Invesco executive says nothing to do with government policy, but is instead rooted in the company's decades worth of relationship with China. Well, we've got this guy, Wilbur Ross, basically investing in China through Ant Financial, and it would appear that he's manipulating the trade war on one side with Trump, and also his company's making an awful lot of money in China through his investment company, Invesco. So the American tariffs appear to have helped at least one Invesco steel investment in China, according to interviews and company disclosures. So yeah, making an awful lot of money out of both sides in the trade war.
So should we look at Invesco shareholders?
Who do you think might be there?
Wow. So basically they're playing both sides of the field. So they're making money in America and now they're making money in China. So it doesn't matter which way the trade wars go, they're playing both sides of the party. So yeah, China's bad. Oh well, we'll make money anyway. United States are doing this, well we'll make money anyway. They're monopolising the market. And again, you've got BlackRock, SSGA, Bank of America, JP Morgan. They own shares in all these companies. And it just goes on and on and on. So can you take us back to the slides now, please?
I'll try.
Please. Yeah, we will. Here we go. So now we can go on. So we've done loads of companies. We've done the links with geopolitical stuff. Now the next slide for us, please. So we wanted to have a look at Bank of America because obviously the Ripple patent and everything which come out recently. Well, Vanguard are the second largest shareholder, and Berkshire Hathaway have recently bought 10% in them. But obviously we now know that Vanguard are the largest shareholder in Berkshire Hathaway. So who really owns Bank of America? Vanguard. And other banks, who all of us probably know, maybe even bank with. Barclays, Lloyds Bank, HSBC, Santander, Scotiabank, Credit Agricole, BNP Paribas. Vanguard owner. Next slide, please. This is where it's going to blow your mind, people. W3C Group own, obviously, Interledger Protocol. You guys bang on about it fantastically all the time, and a lot of people really just don't get how big this can be. Well, I went through the biggest members within the W3C members list. There they are. Vanguard is majority shareholder in all of those above companies. So they own, in my mind, Interledger Protocol. Sorry? Yeah. So would you? So American Express, Amazon,
it's the same thing. They're all in there. HPC members together, the Hyperledger members together.
What are they going to promote?
We won't talk about it. Why is it only us talking about it? It's not right.
It's just not right.
So early.
Just so early, but we can see. We're visionaries, people. We're before everybody else. We really are. I really do believe that. It's insane when you think about it. I talk to my wife at home sometimes, yeah, and I'm like, and all she says is, oh, how's XRP doing? And I'm like, yeah, it's fucking down. What you don't know is that my standing order isn't to pay off a loan, it's actually to buy more XRP.
Screen alive, mate.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Gas yourself, Laura.
I'm sure you're watching, sorry darling.
I've got big weeks to send you the link.
Oh no. Next slide please mate, because so what I wanted to do was kind of put like a spider diagram of connections to Ripple and so on and so forth so people can kind of have a visual. So Vanguard, they've got shares in Accenture, American Express, CME. CME, obviously, Accenture are partners, CME are invested in Ripple. Then obviously they've invested in Santander and BlackRock and are all Ripple partners. And as you can see, Ripple is fucking everywhere. It's everywhere I look. Every rock I pick up, as Kurt would say, who's staring back at me? Brad Garley out, and he's going and giving me a little wave. Every single rock I look under. And I'll tell you what, every single company that I've been looking under, as well as you guys, and yourself, is Vanguard. What do you guys think of all that? It's like,
If you look at BAC is basically owned by Vanguard. ICE Group is owned by Vanguard.
so they own the markets as
We
well.
own all of trade finance. Now, literally everything in the world that we do every day, they own. So basically, they own us. And we like it or not, they own us. They own everything.
Which is what I was trying to say this morning, where the people who think you're getting rid of this system easier than you're getting rid of the House of Commons are deluded.
Yeah.
They rule the world, they are the be all and end all of who's in charge.
So
Mr. Jacobs probably sat at the top of Vanguard,
yeah.
Barry Rothschild.
Yeah, but the thing is, because they're protected by being investors and not shareholders within this organisation, they can get away with monopolising the market. Because they've got...
That's who 90% of the world are going to trust with their personal ledgers.
Yeah. This is personal.
Can we get a personal ledger with that?
So, trusted custody solutions.
Vanguard are also into the arms industry, heavily into the arms industry, private security. You want to go and start a war with somebody, you go and speak to Vanguard. You want to stop the war with somebody, you go and speak to Vanguard. You want to go and cure cancer, you go and speak to Vanguard. You want to increase food production, fatty food productions, you go and speak to Vanguard. These guys are at the centre of every single company, majority of every single company in the world.
And every single one pushing IOP.
It's an old brain.
I know, I'm going to get the drums out in a minute.
So that's pretty much what we've got for you guys. Have you got any questions? I saw somebody raise their hand over there.
Is Vanguard anything to do with Western Union? Like a shareholder or anything like that?
I don't know, I can Google it pretty quickly.
There will be somewhere, I would imagine.
So if they're not, they will own a company or be shareholders in a company that are shareholders in a company that own Western Union. They own everything.
So
there's nothing we don't own that they don't own. So the shoes you're wearing, everything that we do in modern day life is funded by these.
So basically Vanguard run the whole show, yeah? So, okay, you know, you've got the internet, and that was the big thing.
That's quite interesting, only one of your sides.
Ripple now is the next big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which now is obviously owned by Vanguard. Obviously, today's society, Ripple's the next big thing. So basically, it's all about control. So they're using this digital currency, all this facial recognition. It's just all to this
5G.
Just to watch the monitors like cattle. Pretty much, as well as run the whole show. They're running us and watching us.
Well, that's to answer your question, third largest shareholder.
Well,
Honestly, every company you look at.
No, anybody that sits in this room and says they're not here, it's again a slice of dim. That's why we're here. Everyone who's got a slice of this pipe.
So basically what they'll say, if someone comes out with a technology which helps Vanguard control us,
Yes.
pretty much.
Well, that's what we're saying with Internet to Protocol. And obviously there's, Ripple have come out and I think David Schwartz has said, what is the market you're going after? And he went, all the money. That's a big statement, right? Imagine if you really had control of that full ledger of all the money in the world. They've got control of all the companies, but have they got control of all the money? Is this a way of controlling all the money?
Essentially, yeah, there is through Ripple.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just another tool to help us control us.
Well, let's
checkmate, in my opinion.
Let's not forget, Ripple is only a DLT company.
Yeah.
All it is a company. Let's not forget, we all look at Ripple and think Ripple is just a company. No, IOP doesn't actually need XRP. It'll only use it if it's the fastest and the cheapest for that particular route. So you can have as many connectors you want. Vanguard own every connector in between, so they own the system, whether we like it or not. The deep down of who's paying.
Well, it's like you said about layers. Ripple's just another added layer.
Correct. Within this new world order supposed system.
It's another layer.
So to increase the price of Ripple, we just have to petition Vanguard.
Wait, you'll have a few vans outside your house, mate. Black ones as well.
We capping your house.
So what we do is we ask Vanguard to stop the escrow.
I would love you to try and find the people behind Vanguard to be able to petition them to say, listen, increase the price.
Ripple will increase.
Vanguard is one of the biggest battle class ships I've seen.
No, do you remember?
That's what they named themselves, but
What was that? So what was that?
Was it Ripple Riddler?
Pardon? It was Ripple Riddler.
Ripple Riddler.
I don't know, Ripple Riddler, I don't know.
It was somebody, Ripple Riddler, put out a, one of these tweets. Do you know who Ripple Crippler is?
No.
He's a guy on XRP, he's on Twitter, all that sort of stuff. I know some people don't like Ripple Riddler. But basically, it was a tweet with a picture of a ship and somebody pointing to it.
Yeah. In other words, it's in the middle and everyone's chained back to it.
There you go.
You had a question?
That's what we think anyway.
Andy, just a question, sorry mate.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was just that at the start you said there was going to be a representative from Ripple speaking with a representative from Vanguard. Is there, have you got any ideas who the representative of Vanguard is? So you can follow
they're actually online.
Sorry?
The representatives for each company are actually online.
Oh, right.
Somebody's just done a video of it. I think it was just, he might have been crypto
Has it actually happened, the interview?
So would there be a way of following them down the line and trying to uncover more?
That's what our plan is.
Yeah.
That's what our plan is.
Yeah.
Just follow the money and follow shareholders and investors, because that's the first thing I do. When I see
board members.
Yeah, when you see, for instance, someone's partnered with this person recently. I'm not going. Oh right, I'm not jumping on YouTube and going, yeah, they're partnered with them, brilliant, really, party banners and stuff. I want to think, why have they partnered? What's the reason? Why have they partnered? Question the norm. Yeah. Don't just, because there's a layer of truth. Obviously, they're in control of our TV and our newspapers and stuff like that, yeah. So they're giving us what they want us to see. Yeah. We're not meant to know what we know, all of us within this room, because they don't want us holding what we feel the best digital asset of all time, in my opinion. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. You have to put your nose back to find the real information, because there is real information all over the world. You've just got to look. And yeah, it was very interesting because when Scott was doing a presentation and there was a timeline of the internet and how it was built out. Well, Vanguard actually owns shares in all those companies who built the internet. So not only do they own the Internet Protocol, they own the internet. NTT.
We were just sitting at the back, just like smiling to each other, going, all of those, everything that was in the presentation, it's like, yeah, we know who owns them. We know who the major shareholders are.
Is that us?
To answer the question directly, Brianne Madigan, Head Global Institutional Markets for Ripple, and John Evans, Head of Blockchain Strategy at Vanguard, will be on stage together, I think it's the 12th of September.
Blockchain strategy.
2 years ago, Vanguard said we would never get involved in any ETFs. They wasn't interested in blockchain whatsoever. And that was from the CEO 2 years ago.
I think Vanguard, who said that?
Yeah, CEO of Vanguard.
Said they're not interested.
They're not interested in the ETFs, not interested in cryptocurrencies, not interested in digital assets. And all along, they own every fucking company.
Don't listen to what they say. Look where the money goes.
At the end of the day, for us, we're all investors. We all want returns. That's why we're all here. Most of us are not here because we care who owns this, who owns that. We're all here because we want money. Follow the money. The money's telling you who owns what. You know, you can follow it all day, every day, and it's always going to lead back to one main company.
So invest in Vanguard.
Yeah, we have a good shout.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's free investments, right?
If you do that, you could
Possible. I know, now you can do it through SBI. You can invest through SBI.
And it's small. Yeah. And it's small habits. I think it's $10,000 to $100,000. Yeah,
you're just not taxable.
What was something we didn't present here today? They're actually, you know, we talked about wars and stuff like that. Well, obviously, who makes money out of wars? Big business, one of the biggest businesses in the world. The manufacturers of guns, bombs, all, you name it, the tanks, the aeroplanes, and so on and so forth.
Napoleon War, the first war, the Rothschilds funded on both sides.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And obviously we know the creation of the BIS was to funnel the Nazi money out of the war, obviously. But we looked at these, let's say, black ops companies who manufactured the arms and so on and so forth. Vanguard were there as well. So they own everything.
I thought he was going to say something else, and I was just about to stop him and say, maybe you should. You know,
yeah, but look at yourselves. I probably should.
Between them, they probably own 60% of the world, all the value on the world. If you look at the stocks that they own in each company, and even you're looking at BlackRock, you're looking at these companies below them, they own them as well. How is it not the Rothschilds? Because these are bigger than the Rothschilds. Who's invested in Vanguard? The Rothschilds that own Vanguard? Yeah, we don't know. This is the point. Once you get to a certain level, there's no information at all, and there's the top 3 or 4 companies in the world. As soon as you get to a certain level, there's nothing. So you cannot find out who's invested in these companies.
So all you can do is just invest in these top companies that are in partnering.
I only invest in XRP.
That's the next big.
But I would imagine if you're wanting to invest in some of these top tier companies, some of these top tier companies, if you want to invest directly, even in Ripple, how much is the minimum to get into in Ripple? How much? 20 million? Something like that.
No, Ripple the company.
Ripple the company, not XRP. Yeah, so to be able to invest in companies like Vanguard, if you can, you've got to have some serious capital behind you to be able to invest in.
Yeah.
It's not for the everyday person. It's not for, you and I or Mr. John on the street or Mrs. John.
After move.
Sorry?
After invest it, yeah.
After it moves.
I'll just go back and look at some of our presentations afterwards and I'll be like, yeah, I'll invest in them, I'll invest in them. Because you know they're not going to fail, they're too big to fail. It's like Conan Loeb & Co. When the Lehman Brothers collapsed because American Express owned them, they cut that off because they didn't get a government bailout at the time. So what they did as a company, they realised that they had a lot of bad assets, so American Express used the collapse to cut them off.
What's Deutsche Bank just done? Better bank with all their bad assets.
And that's what they do, and it's return cycle reset, get everybody into debt again and do it again. And who makes money off of debt? And the banks.
This is how we the game though, is XRP isn't meant for us. It's not meant for us. And if you look at the Interledger video, Gateway video from 2 years ago, they'll tell you XRP isn't meant for us. It's meant for institutions. This is how early we are. We are as early as you could possibly be. That they'll actually give us access with 20 XRP for however much is bought for access into the financial system, not just on a small level from your back-end bank. Yeah, with them 20 XRP, you can actually be a connector on the ILP.
Okay, so we're running out of time, so has anybody got any questions? Any more questions?
I was going to say is, do you think that if anyone, obviously these people are above government, so that's what I've done from my research things, is from what I know, is anyone that actually does or poses to be a threat of them, what they'll do is they'll probably tank the market or do something in response to get people fearing or back into a corner.
I personally don't believe that Vanguard give a crap about what happens in the world.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they own every single angle, or our shareholders in every single angle. If the markets tank, they've got insurances to make money off it.
But do you think they're tanking the market to actually get their agenda through and what they specifically want?
I don't think they can.
Well, volatility is always good, isn't it, for
yeah.
companies? So that's what they're trying to create. I mean, there's Jacob Rees-Mogg, his father released a book about, making money from chaotic times, and what's he doing now? He's just trying to push the Brexit agenda, no deal, to push that.
It's not when they collapse the property markets, who's buying at the low? The clever ones, the clever people, right? You wait for the market to collapse, buy at the bottom, and then ride the wave on the way up. And that's hopefully what we're trying to do today with XRP and stuff like that. People who are coming into it at this stage, they're fucking lucky. So, do you know my first purchase? It was insanely high.
What was that, £3.50?
All-time high. Well, and I probably paid a commission as well.
All right, so
I limped out of the room.
So that's pretty much all we've got. In terms of moving forward with SPQR, so Lee and I have decided that we're going to be kind of stepping back from SPQR and presenting stuff because we think we've found there's no more to be found.
No,
that's it. It's done. It's over. This is it. This is no more videos. There'll be some videos from other people, but not from myself and Lee. And that's, it's a decision that we've made. We've got different business projects that we've got going on.
Which are?
So I
your fucking business.
So I operate a recruitment business for all sectors. Lee operates a electrical mechanical project management business. And so we're going to be very, very busy kind of getting those. Well, Lee's already busy, but I'm going to be very busy in the short term kind of getting those.
Well, maybe we could tokenise Vanguard one day, maybe everyone will then get a chance.
The man's got it. Okay, so that's everything for us, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Curious. I'm CEO and co-founder of Bichu. So yes, I just talked to Scott. I'm probably the only speaker today who doesn't have British accent. I actually tried to practice that last night, but I don't have that talent, so please bear with me today. So here we go. Bichu, be the first one. In the past 10, 20 years, you know that because of the boost of the internet, right, a lot of new things coming up. We got smartphone, we got some big company like Apple, Google, Facebook, this big company, Amazon. And then a lot of people, we try really hard to force ourselves to revolving every single day. That's why today we have the driverless auto. We even have the AI generation product coming up. But in the past 10, 20 years, there's one thing. There's one single thing that never changed themselves, but they are getting more powerful and more powerful every single day. Bank. JP Morgan, they are making more than 30 billion US dollars every single year. Why? Because we allow it. We are giving them the power. We are giving our hard-earned money to them, and then they lend it to someone else, and then they make a lot of money for that. Today, the bank is not as free as internet. They never change themselves. They never make any improvement in the past 10 years until recent years. They started to realize that there's some fintech stock coming out. So they start to think about, should we do something? So I always like to take one example. Like today, if I want to take a photo and then send it to my family or friend in Asia or in US, I can do it in seconds. But today, if I want to transfer money from Europe to US, it's going to take me like at least 2 days. It's not free either. So banking today is not as free as internet. But it is not as fast as internet either. Right? But we are putting most of the money to the bank. So bank, they take your money, you put in the saving account, your checking account, and then they give you pretty limited interest, they give you pretty limited dividends, and then they use the money, they do something else and make a lot of money. And sadly, is that most of the people, we are too lazy to move the money from the checking account to saving account. So most of the money in the checking account, it means they're free to them. We are giving our money free to the bank. So, good thing is that cryptocurrency coming up. Cryptocurrency could be something that take lead to force the bank to either improve themselves or either we replace them. And that's why today, Ripple's mission, enabling the world to move value like you move information today. That's Ripple's mission. And that's something I kind of believe. So this is how we started B2. And this is how we relate to XRP and Ripple. Around end of the 2017, that's exactly the timing the price of Bitcoin skyrocketed to roof. Right? We got around 20,000 value at the time. And everyone noticed about blockchain. Everyone noticed about the cryptocurrency. So I got a chance to run the blockchain incubator in Silicon Valley. So I get to know a lot of blockchain projects, and then I review different kind of the user scenario, what's the application, how can I apply blockchain or cryptocurrency to this real world. And there's only one thing that I truly believe is that I believe the financial scenario will be the very first step to adopt blockchain. The financial step will be the very first thing to adopt cryptocurrency. And then one day, there's a chance I got to join a fintech conference in Silicon Valley. And then I met a lady out there. Her name is Amy Yoshikawa. She's a senior director at Ripple. And that's the very first time I get to learn about the value of XRP. I get to learn the value of Ripple. What I'm trying to do, what's the mission. So right after the conference, I asked my team member, hey, go to have a set up meeting with this lady. Go to understand, learn more about XRP, and then get to learn more about what Ripple is trying to achieve, what is their objective. So, when we launched B2 last July, the very first decision we made is to adopt XRP as base currency. We are the very first exchange as a pilot doing this. because that's what we believe. We have believed in our mind that this XRP thing could be something that could be adopted in this financial scenario very quickly by the world, especially it's driven by a company called Ripple in the back. But the thing is, last July, to be specifically, July 19th, when I host a press conference for B2, on that night, I was very sad that I saw a lot of people made a lot of comments saying that was a joke. B2 was a joke. Today's XRP as best currency was a joke. So, end of last year, this is my trick. Like 5 months ago, when we launched B2, we decided to be a pilot XRP as best currency. And I still remember many people said that was a joke. B2 was a joke. Till today, we have 13 XRP pairs already. I'm happy we made Oslo. That's the tweet I posted on December 27th last year. And as of today, we are contributing more than 6% of XRP trading value in global. Our XRP trading value already surpassed some big exchange, well-known exchange with a Bitrix, Cryptotag, Bistek. And even when we were born in the bear market, we still grew dramatically fast. And then we were even covered by a lot of media in Japan, US, Europe. And then, like a month or two ago, this media even reviewed us. We are top 5 promising startup in Silicon Valley this year. So that's B2. That's how we started. So, as of today, we already have 50 XRP pairs on B2. And not just that, we are also encouraging a lot of exchanges from our state. There are more and more exchanges adopting XRP as base currency. And to took a step forward, and 2 months ago, July 19th, that was our first anniversary of B2. On that anniversary, while we were celebrating our birthday, we decided to run an XRP validator as well. And very soon, we'll include it as one of the default URL.
That was so fucking epic.
It only happened like less than 2 months.
Unbelievable.
And then because of all this, because one belief we had in our mind, we became close friends and family with a lot of Ripple staff. In the middle, that's me. And then this lady, she's Angel Shikawa. She's in charge of the whole Asia partnership. So, for example, partnership with SBI, partnership with different kind of the financial institution in China, in Japan. That's all her. She's the one in charge of that market. And then last Warren is different market. He's pretty senior engineer in Europe. Probably a lot of people know this guy. And on the right, on the left, actually, I'm sorry, that's the lady, Corey. You know that she took a new job. She left Ripple, and then she's now running the brands US. And then she's also one of our fans of B2. So, and then today, B2 is not alone. After 1 year, we are not alone. We are not by ourselves anymore. We have more and more friends. We have more and more partners join us. We have 30 right here. Bertie also came along from Amsterdam to join us today. We have XRP Crypto Walk. We have Bombs, our lovely Bombs. We have Eric from Japan. Right? We have Alex Chicago. We have more and more people to join us with family. So picture today, after 1 year, we don't allow to win, and we still try very hard to be faster and faster every single day. And now, today, we are not alone. Today, I talked to a couple of the people that today probably the day I took the most selfie, I took another selfie today. This is the first time I'm really excited because finally I get a chance to meet our users, our community members, and then thank for Scholar putting all together all this. So, the journey so far is great. It's all good. But what's next? DeFi. Warren Buffett saying that if you don't make your money, if you find a way to make money while asleep, you're gonna work until you die. I believe that badly. I've been working in the. So I'll talk a little about my background. So because some people ask me my background, my major. My major is computer science. So my very first job, I was a programmer. I was an engineer. I do all kind of coding. And then after that, I done a product manager, and then business development, and I was also in charge of the whole marketing team and the e-commerce team, etc., etc. And then, but let's big problem regarding cryptocurrencies is that today, if you look at the whole value of cryptocurrencies, most of the value like 250 billion US dollars. But the thing is that we're not earning any interest on that, right? Today, even like for US dollar, even you put in the saving account, even though the dividends interest is pretty limited, but still earning some. I don't know, in the United States, you can earn probably like 1% as the annual interest rate, or you put the money into the less than 1%. I know in Europe it's even worse, right? But in crypto, that we're not earning anything by that. So early this year, we came out with a program. We call it Bichu Power Piggy. What does that mean? So this is a program we designed that for people who hold your cryptocurrency on Bichu, you get a chance to earn interest for your cryptocurrency. If you put your XRP into this Power Piggy, you can earn like 7 to 10% annual interest rate. And we're paying you by daily basis. And then, what's this Power Piggy program? So this is a program we designed as a marketing campaign that want to encourage more and more people to join Bichu. So today we don't place any advertisement on CoinMarketCap. You don't see any ads on CoinMarketCap. You don't see any banner talking about Bichu or any kind of conference. Because we want to spend our budget, our marketing budget, over our community member only. And that's why we designed this program. And that's why this program was on SRP. We have any cap, like 300,000 SRP. And we have 2 slots today. For people to get in this Power Piggy, for people to get in, put their SRP into this program. And then you can unlock the SRP when you want to trade or you want to withdraw anytime you want. So, Power Piggy, after Power Piggy, a lot of people will see Bichu is a crypto exchange. But the thing is, we're not. I'm sorry, let me do that one more time. We are an exchange, but we are not just an exchange. We are aimed to become a financial service platform. So this is how it works in today's banking system. Today, like I said, bank, they take your hard-earned money and then they do something else, so they make a lot of money, right? Like $4 here. And then they put most of the money they earn, the revenue, into their own pocket, and they only share with you pretty limited or nothing with you. Even you put your money for there for free, right? So what we're trying to do is that today, banks, they sell that they only care about rich people. The way they treat Warren Buffett won't be the same way they treat you. They will share all kinds of secret and then good portfolio with those rich people. So for rich people, I mean, I just realized in this past 2-3 years that for a lot of rich people, it's pretty easy for them to identify like annual return at 6 or 7 or 10% return. Pretty easy, and then that's guaranteed. But it's not with every single of us. Because the bank, those brokers, they don't care about everyone. They care about rich people. Okay. And then so what we're trying to do is we want to leverage the blockchain cryptocurrency to build something that to disrupt the current banking system, to disrupt the current broker model. We're hoping to build something that we can have every single individual, they have the same right, they have the same privilege, they have the spare asset to the banking financial service. It's not a secret anymore for those rich people. We want to reveal all those portfolio to every single of you, as long as you are in this community. So this is B2's mission. We want to have more and more people, they have equal access to financial services. Whenever you are rich or poor, we don't care about how much money you have, as long as you are in this community, we want to share, we want to give you the best portfolio, we want to spread the most money with you. So doing that, after Power 50, by end of this month, we're going to launch our crypto banking service. We'll be the first one launching this crypto banking service as an exchange. A lot of us, we all believe that the value of the cryptocurrency we hold, it will skyrocket to the roof, maybe in a year or two. The value of the Bitcoin, the value of SRP will be just like 25 cents or 70 cents, will be just like 10 grand. That's what we believe. But the thing is, we still need to spending for our living costs. So that's why we're launching this crypto lending service. And this crypto lending service, we're going to do something more different compared to our service provider. We're going to have higher loan-to-value rate. We're going to have lower APR rate. And we're going to adopt and accept more collateral choices. We won't just do it for Bitcoin, SRP, and those stable coin. We want all other altcoin that you hold in your hand that become alive. It's not in the dead pool. So end of this month, we're going to do that. We're going to launch that. But this is like lending crypto to crypto holders. And that's not enough. Today in global, it's around probably like 20 million or 30 million crypto holders. If we want to have the cryptocurrency or blockchain technology to change this world, that won't be enough. This number, 20 million, won't be enough. I mean, cryptocurrency is great, but compared to the traditional market, it's just way, way too small. So this is the question I'm thinking. I mean, every single morning I wake up, like, how can we increase the penetration rate of the cryptocurrency? How can we increase the crypto holder from today, 20 million, to increase to maybe 200 million someday? So can B2 become the bridge connect between cryptocurrency and traditional market? Can we do that? So since 2011 or 2012, In Southeast Asia market, I mean, there are a lot of, the number of the capital deal being increasing, like double or triple, getting more and more in the recent year, and it's not stopping. There are more and more capital deals going on. We all know about Google, we all know about Facebook, it's kind of big company. And in South Asia right now, it is a booming company. There are a lot of capital deals going on. And then we are seeing more and more unicorn company coming up. There's a Grab, Gojek. They are like Uber. Dada. It's like Amazon. They are running their e-commerce in South Asia. They are all running like billions. They are all running business worth like billion US dollars. And they are growing. So today, here is how it is. This whole world, because we gotta try to talk to different kind of entrepreneurs, we gotta try to talk to different kind of venture capital and fintech company. And this is a fact I want to share with everyone today. In the whole world, for those different countries, like US, Europe, Japan, this market, they are mature market already. And the progress we are making is pretty limited. Because we are mature, we are a different country. So that's why Germany they are selling, last month they are selling zero interest rate bond. Sweden, even worse, they are giving you negative yield bond. But that's what's happening in these different countries. But the thing is, for a lot of countries, those booming markets, Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, this market, they are booming. A lot of venture capital, a lot of fintech companies, they are willing to pay a whole lot of money. They are willing to pay a lot of return for your investment. So this is probably an agenda we are thinking that in the past couple of months, and then finally that we've been establishing some partnership with some fintech companies in Southeast Asia, in some booming market. And we're going to help you to allocate those assets and give you the best return. So that's the thing we're going to do. So B2 is not just doing the crypto business within crypto world. We also trying to bridge between crypto and traditional market. So this is the, like foundational B2. We are going to change. We are doing crypto trade, and then we are doing all kind of the trading activity out there. So trading is our foundation. We're going to have more and more XRP pair coming up. But on top of that, we're going to develop all kind of financial service for cryptocurrency. So BTR is an exchange-based token which we issued a couple months ago. BTR is the one we use to build this financial ecosystem. And today, after all this month, I'm very happy to tell all our investors that BTR performance is stronger than a lot of projects. It's way healthier than a lot of projects. Its return over investment is over 200%, and sometimes even 20% or 100%. But right now, it's already stabilized at 20%. At this, and with stable trading value more than 2 million USD every single day. So, I know that a lot of people, they've been asking me, okay, curious, I have trouble to get my money into coffee. Right? I love your coffee. The thing is, I need to set up an alarm in the middle of the night, I need to wake up, right? And then try to get my money into the coffee. And then even I do that, I still cannot get my money, my XRP into the coffee program, and I do that. So a lot of people ask us, when can we have finally a personal cap for coffee? So, end of this month, or beginning of next month, we're gonna have personal coffee cap. and more to go. I think in 2 months or 3 months, if we are fast enough, hopefully, if we're not fast enough, we need to be faster. We are going to launch our via on-ramp gateway for our users. Because we want to become the most friendly fiat gateway, not just for Bitcoin, but also for XRP as well. So today, you can purchase XRP with a fiat. And then if you want to purchase other, you can use those XRP pairs to purchase other altcoin. And XRP for you, we all know that its performance and the features is way better than Bitcoin. It's way faster. And then, not just that. So I know today we already have credit card solution for a lot of people to purchase Bitcoin or XRP. But the thing about a credit card is that, I mean, I sort of like it. It's fast, right? I mean, just swipe it and then you get your own XRP cryptocurrency. But the thing is, it's just too expensive. It costs you at least like it costs you at least like 3.5%. And that's a fact. Bichu is not earning any money from this today. We're not. We give all this transaction fee to credit card service provider. We give all this money to Visa, MasterCard. So credit card is great, but it's just not good enough. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to open the bank direct deposit solution, wire and ACH solution for people to put your money, deposit your money to purchase XRP or Bitcoin. And also, we're going to do one more thing. So today, the cryptocurrency world is actually divided into retail market and institutional market. For retail market, the price we get is not the best deal. It's not. For institutional market, because it's a batch, so they get the best price out there. We've been talking to a lot of institutional customers in US, and we're talking to a couple of the OTC partners as well. And then I'm glad that we already established some partnership with them. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to bridge between the institution and the retail market. We want to offer the best price, the most friendly fiat gateway solution for our retail customers as well, not just for our institution. That's what we're going to do. So just FYI, today for those institution customers, if we want to become an institution partner, if you want to become an institution customers, every single deal, the order has to be bigger than 100,000 US dollars. So that's why it doesn't work for the retail customers. So we're gonna break the rules. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bridge in between. Last but not least, be true. Be the first. We are the first one. We are the first exchange to adopt XRP as base currency in global. And today we are not the only one. Not anymore. We are also the first one who come out with this powerful idea, who give you evidence, who give you interest for your cryptocurrency while you hold it. And I know we are not going to be only one soon. Alright. And we are going to be the very first exchange offering financial service for our customers. And also, we are going to be the very first one who bridge between institution and retail customers together. We won't be the only one doing all this. Unfortunately, right, our competitors will catch up, but we will be the very first one. And that's us. That's be true. A real deal. Thank you. Today, I'm very happy to come over here. So Aris and Adam, they are our company management. They came along from Beijing, Asia, and then I actually traveled just back from Asia to US, and then I stayed less than 48 hours, and then I traveled here again. And I'm really happy. Last time when I was in UK, it was back to 2015 already, and then back to time was actually opened up some branch office for some company. And then today, I'm glad because of Scott putting all this together, we are here again to be of the SRP community and also our users. And Aiden and Aris, they actually have some surprise and some gifts prepared to share with everyone. Aiden?
Hey, Curtis, quick question. What X-Ray?
Good question. Due to some agreement with some company, I'm not allowed to talk too much. But the thing is, of course, we have to get our VR gateway ready first, right? That's the first thing. And then we all know that in the US, recently there are a lot of policy changes, right? And then so we're also working with, we just hired a chief compliance officer from SEC. So he used to work at SEC. And then so we are also preparing a lot of stuff, just like Finance US they are doing today, to get ourselves well prepared for everything. So that's why I say it probably not take another 2-3 months for us to open the VR gateway. So when we get up ready, we'll wait for Ripple. That company, I can say. So don't ask me again when we got become the SRP partners, but we will get ourselves ready. We are 100% willing to do this because this is what we believe at the very beginning when we start this journey. Yes.
Thank you.
Generate some interest. We have a marketing kind of, team there ready to kind of push out information about the charities and to generate as much interest as possible. So it's really helpful, and all those guys have been really supportive. These are the actual people on Twitter. So XRP Trees is with the One Tree Project. They're a really interesting charity who basically will plant a tree in the world for $1 per tree. I don't know if a lot of you might be interested in VeChain as well. So today it was announced that one of VeChain's partners, who are Safe Haven, just came out today to say that they're actually going to be working with One Tree Project as well, so you should check them out. The idea of that charity is to try and get the carbon footprint of XRP completely down to zero. So far, XRP Labs with Wind, they actually have their carbon footprint now down to zero. So if you're looking at things like the Bitcoin blockchain, which is incredibly wasteful in terms of the actual mining of Bitcoin, we're trying to get XRP down to absolutely zero, which just kind of brings home the point of how important XRP is for the environment as well. I spoke about St. Jude as well, that's through King Blue. Myself, I'm looking after Children on the Edge. They are a charity worldwide that help marginalised children who are in countries that have seen atrocities happen. For example, they're working with refugees in Lebanon at the moment who have been displaced from the war in Syria, with Syrian refugee children, and also with other children that are in places like Nepal and Indian borders, working with children that are unfortunately in brothels out there as well. So it's really important work. They are just a small charity, but they're doing some fantastic things, and I'd recommend you guys check them out as well. Happy Kids Dirty Hands, that's from a guy called Crandy71, XRP community again. He set up his own project to help get school children in America involved with being outdoors and starting gardening projects and teaching them how to grow their own vegetables and things like that. So they've done an amazing job raising lots of money for tools and equipment and educating children on how to be self-sufficient in that way. Filter of Hope from Big Buckle, again XRP community. This is to provide water filters to lots of developing countries in the world, to provide them with clean, fresh water. Again, they've raised an enormous amount of XRP, and he's actually working with them and going out to the projects, which you can follow him on Twitter and see what they're doing. One More Home, which is also a very interesting project. This is in El Salvador, and our person working out there called Ramantol or Moncho. This is to build 3D printed houses for families who do not have homes. So far, they've raised again a lot of XRP, and I believe we're actually now about to build our first home for these families, and hopefully, fingers crossed, many more in the future. So you can actually see this is about children on the edge. So this is just to explain about some of the initiatives we've been running. I contacted Brad Garlinghouse myself. This was around about maybe 6 months ago. I sent him direct messages on LinkedIn, and this is how incredible Ripple are as a company. He actually responded to me, picked up my message, and then got me in touch with the actual team who do social initiatives through Ripple. I ended up getting these signed t-shirts along with a few others, and then we put them to auction on Twitter, and we ended up raising around about 10,000 to 15,000 XRP, which has gone to all of the charities separately. I can go through that again, so a bit about St. Jude there.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, yeah. What I'll do is I'll leave the slides with Scott after, so now I'm a bit for time here. But this is just to explain about St. Jude's and the charity themselves. So St. Jude, they were the original first XRP charity. We just crossed 100,000 XRP. That was around about 2 weeks ago. So obviously, if XRP gets back to its all-time high, which is a possibility in the future, you can imagine just how significant that's going to be for St. Jude, and who knows where that might go in the future if it gets to $10 per XRP. So this is the one that I was talking about as well, the One Tree project. If you don't know already, the QR codes here, you are able to scan through the tip box, and you're able to send XRP directly to the charities as well, so you would actually see that on the ledger pop up. So while I'm doing these slides, feel free to have a scan as well. So this is the One More Home one that I was talking about. So the current balance of XRP here, this charity is now 21,000 XRP. Moncho, the guy on Twitter, he only started this roughly around 4 or 5 months ago, so quite incredible how much XRP they've generated already. So actually, it started in January 3rd, 2019, with a goal of raising $6,498. The amount needed to cover the cost of one more home for a family needed in, I can't pronounce that, in El Salvador. So One More Home started as a campaign to fund one home for a family in need. Thankfully, due to the astonishing response from the donor base, the objective is now to raise funds and keep helping build one more home for the foreseeable future. Just to mention these things, it's important to note some of the charities, like One More Home, they're a private campaign, so that's through Moncho. The charity itself isn't One More Home. It is this project called New Story Charities. They do not accept XRP at this time, and all the XRP that's sent to One More Home has been then transferred back into fiat and is then sent on to the charity itself to build houses. So this is the Happy Kids Dirty Hands charity I was talking about. So they've raised $5,500 US at the moment. Purchased over $4,000 of equipment for these children, and they receive different digital assets as well, not just XRPs. They've had TRX, Nano, and 21 other digital assets as well. This is the Filter of Hope one that I was talking about as well. So they're working all across the world, Asia, Africa, and in Europe too. As I say, just about the drinking filters, the water drinking filters as well to help. So this is just to explain quickly about those who, does everybody here know about XRP Tipbot? Are you all using it at the moment currently? Raise your hands for everybody who's using Tipbot already? Okay, alright, cool. So if for those of you that don't understand or know what Tipbot is, so you have the login page here where you'll go on and you're literally able to send a tip to anybody who's actually already functioning using the XRP Tipbot themselves. So similar with the charities, you can literally log on there and find Children on the Edge or find any of the other charities and send the XRP directly to them. So this is just about the charity splitter that we have. So you can either choose to donate your XRP directly to the charities, or you can actually go to the XRP Tipbot splitter, which if you then send, in this example here, this XRP Lazarus, he donated 12 XRP to the Twitter account is Good XRP, and that then straight away splits the XRP into 2 XRP per charity as well. So yeah, this is just to show you what's actually happened. So these are all the charities. So far we've raised over 211,000 XRP. Some of that has actually been taken out already, as I say, to buy equipment or to go straight to the homes. And then other charities like Children on the Edge and St Jude are actually holding on to their XRP more as an asset, hopefully that they can use it for the future for bigger things. This is just to give you an idea. So this gentleman here, Nixa, FFM, he's really a great guy. He's a developer. So he's created this website for statistics pages that tell you all about how much XRP everybody sent. So you can kind of see, so the most tips received through the tip box is actually St Jude, so that's a charity, the charity I'm talking about. So when we talk about building out the ecosystem with XRP, I think people don't understand that the charities at the moment are the largest receivers through the XRP Tipbot. If you think about other organisations like GoFundMe or all these other big charity websites, this could potentially build into something that is potentially a large thing that will build out the XRP ecosystem and also help charities in the future. So the second largest receiver of XRP is actually Weeksay Winds, and he's the person that actually built the XRP Tipbot. Most tips sent, you see the users there, so some of these people in that section there are just people that are kind of philanthropists, I guess, in their own right, and send a lot of XRP to the charities to help us out. And then you also have the most XRP sent to the other charities on there as well, and other users.
He's throwing out him, isn't he, all in XRP? Big him up on Twitter, Kurt.
So this is just a slide to show again, just about most XRP received as well from, and this is to Just Good XRP, the charity splitter, as I was saying. So again, these are just, some of them are just individual users. So my Twitter handle, I'm actually second in that list, is C Pilots 2017. But that's predominantly because I've been running these initiatives, so I've had a lot of XRP sent to me, and then I've sent them on to the charity rather than being a massive holder of XRP and being able to do that kind of thing or have that much to send. But the gentleman above me, so tips for DT, he's an individual, somebody that we don't actually know who he is, but he's sent a lot of XRP to these charities as well, or to Good XRP, which has been split between all of them.
Bitru on there as well.
Yeah, Bitru on there as well, so thank you, Bitru. Obviously, I think it goes without saying that it's not just like us that are like looking after charities. You know, Ripple have been big inspirations. Probably a lot of us. You've seen the kind of initiatives that they've come out with, and they're really going out of their way to help charities as well. And obviously, I can vouch for even the fact that Brad Gard in that house, even had the generosity to kind of reach out to me as well, or even come back to me with their busy schedules to try and help out the charities. So that's been brilliant. If you haven't looked into Ripple and all the different initiatives that they're doing and the charity work, it's something that again you should definitely have a look at. They're doing some really important work.
It's worth noting that is one thing they have let drip in to mainstream media. Aston Kutcher on Ellen.
Yeah.
The one part of Ripple that they're actually letting drip into the mainstream media is the charity work. Nothing of ILP or anything, but at least the charity work is being recognised.
And then yeah, just say like if you want to try and maybe get something going yourself, we'd be all ears, like in our group, or by all means you don't have to go through the Good Souls group. I'd encourage everybody to kind of look for maybe charitable causes and to use the XRP tip box. It's such a great way of being able to raise money. So if you can think of any charities that you're involved in yourselves or anything that you want to get started, it's just a brilliant way of building out the ecosystem, as I say, and helping people at the same time. So we'd be more than happy to have you in the group with us, or we'd still be supporting anybody who was trying to do good with XRP at the same time. It's just a visual kind of aid, just to give people an idea of really, how this could help these charities in pound sterling. So I'm sorry for the US viewers in here, but these figures could be, obviously, especially for small charities, life-changing. This is what I'm really hoping happens with XRP, and that the charity that I'm helping, get to see this kind of benefit that we're all hoping we see as well, but which will, help hopefully hundreds of thousands, if not millions, and maybe more people in the future too. And these are the QR codes. So I've got a very quick kind of speech to read out, if that's okay.
Yeah.
In another 5 minutes, and while I read out this speech, I'm just going to leave these up here for everybody. If you want to scan the QR codes and send some XRP, that would be great.
Yeah, what we'll do is you have a little speech now, and then when you're finished, we're going to move into the other suite. We've got some pastries and tea and coffee and that, so if you would like to drop any of them a small donation, as everyone's leaving after the chat, just walk up, give it a little scan, the script if you've got the tip or Wirex, and if you just want to send 1 or 2 XRP, the scripts, and then we'll bring it.
Cool, so I'm just going to read this out. I'm sorry it's a bit of a rushed speech, but I'm just going to go through it and hopefully everybody receive as well. So this now leads me on to what I envisage for XRP and its socio-economic benefits that can be realised by this extraordinary technology. Forgive me for speaking candidly. Forget the FUD and leave Twitter behind. Let's get rid of all the distractions and focus on technologies that can bring change and an appropriate reaction to the disparity of wealth and so many other issues that the world faces today. If you're about to tear me apart on Twitter because Ripple hold an enormous amount of XRP without taking into consideration the ecosystem that they are building, and that they have a great responsibility to carefully allocate this XRP, then please take a closer look at the other philanthropists in the world who use their wealth for the betterment of the world before jumping to conclusions. Time and time again I hear Bitcoin and other digital asset communities demonising Ripple and XRP as being centralised without understanding that Ripple are working with the very people that provide the plumbing which facilitates cross-border payments, remittances and the like to foreign parts of the world that have unfairly never had access to these vital services. Only a few months ago, I was even held ransom by a correspondent bank in Hong Kong who picked up the cross-border message provided by SWIFT, and I still cannot get over how ironic that name is, and after 5 days had charged me an astounding 90% of the total amount for their shoddy service. A more poignant and prime example is that of an overseas Filipino worker. I personally knew friends whilst I was living in Hong Kong before who used services like Western Union for remittances to send money back from Hong Kong to the Philippines with high commissions that took money from their families so that they could use a substandard and outdated service whilst also standing in line for the people, being able just to be able to make the transfer on their only day off in the week. In my eyes, this is criminal, just as it would be if the Bitcoin community also had their own way, waiting hours or a day for settlement on the Bitcoin blockchain because of network fees or missing the next block. Or how about putting the ball over everybody's eyes when it comes to the Lightning Network and pretending that they've cracked it just to keep up with the charade. New technologies and technological revolutions have throughout our history improved living standards immeasurably. How could anyone in their right mind argue that Bitcoin and its store of value argument improve on our living standards except to replace gold with a digital version of gold? At the end of the day, we already have the Lightning Network. It's called the XRP Ledger. And you won't be held ransom by network fees and morally questionable miners in the process. If these miners and people championing Bitcoin as a solution to solve all the wrongs in the world have it their way, nothing will change. The payment system will continue to exclude billions. Fees should be minimal, if not zero. Over days, months and years, these fees could equate to a roof over someone's head, food on their table, or giving them access to basic necessities in economies where it's quite literally the difference between life and death. Bitcoin, Ethereum and the like do not cut it. Every drop counts, every Satoshi would count if they cared enough, especially to the people where the drops or Satoshis could make the biggest difference. When you start to use XRP, when you start to send it across the world within seconds for next to nothing, and if you don't then think about all the people that this fantastic technology like XRP can do to change so many lives, then I suggest you take a hard look in the mirror. If you are not concerned by the energy costs that mining brings, if you haven't seen the videos of football fields full of processors whirling away without considering the environmental impact of these technologies, and if you sweep it under the carpet by ridiculing anybody who challenges your idiocy, then shame on you. If we continue to push technologies that do not already better the current antiquated systems that we have in place, then you're quite simply only in this for yourself, and that in this current climate is not good enough. I want to see a new currency, or a bridge asset in this case, that is able to scale to the point where we can include the 2 billion unbanked, where they are able to transact securely and transparently, that we're able to send value as freely as we send information, that it won't cost a large percentage of an overseas Filipino worker's salary as an example, and that by doing so we can empower these people, enabling them to make settlements in real time for themselves, their families, and those who need it the most, saving them money and time in the process. Even if it's not Ripple and XRP, it has to match it or better it. Because anything less than what we are seeing in XRP is not good enough. I want to see charities and those that they help being able to receive assets in real time, aid in real time. With climate catastrophes and other atrocities, unfortunately and seemingly on the rise, being able to receive these funds instantly should be the goal, instant access to aid. It's also imperative in my eyes that we don't become greedy, that this space should not have such a focus on Lambos and making money, especially when this technology can change so many lives. It should be about technology primarily and how it can make everybody's lives better. Even if we do put ourselves in the top percentages and become some of the wealthiest people by most people's standards and as pioneers, let's not leave the rest of the world behind again. Let's use this technology to better our societies and make sure this time that everybody comes along for the ride with us. For those that are in the know, we already are aware that if Ripple ceases to exist, we will still be left with a digital asset that can be used like only a few others in this space. But I'm sure I speak for a lot of you in this room today that Ripple are doing their utmost to bring this world closer to reality, and this is deserving of our support. It's not only Ripple and XRP though. There are plenty of other projects and ideas within the blockchain arena that can bring about huge and positive changes to our world, like decentralized finance, for example, which has some phenomenal use cases. So please don't pin me as only being a Ripple and an XRP fanboy. It's just that at present, they are the only ones to particularly look out for and who are actually leading by example. In my eyes, David Schwartz and the developers of the XRP Ledger will potentially be up for awards like the Turing Award in the future. And I'm sure, and I'm hoping that we can all educate and spread these positive messages to everyone on the inside and newcomers to the crypto space. That this technology needs to be recognised as the only and viable digital asset that is even close to seeing these important issues becoming a reality. Thank you.
How fast can you receive aid? It was all on tip by man. Legitimately, like, we're the only people who knows that we're gonna, like, we've got 100 and odd people there now. No, it's not much, but $1 each right now. 4 XRP through tip off, boom, to Florida, to the Bahamas, to wherever they need it, and bam, it's there. Instant, like, I mean, I can use it now, I don't know. Mate, yeah, well done, legitimately until something else needs to go up. So if there's anything up there that you feel like you want to do a little cheeky donation to, feel free to go and do it. I don't know how close you have to get for it to scan. Pastries, tea and coffee on the other side. So waiting on the tour fireside chat with you guys. Yes, let's relax.
You should film. Oh,
Yeah, just take it off if you can. Take the old thing off. I'm going to order some more. Yeah, I'm going away on Thursday next week. I'm back on Wednesday, so not next week, the week after.
Certainly can, yeah. Go and do a side and get the home. It's something really it's everyone, mate. It's not just me. It's everyone. Let's join it. Usually the locals around here. Well, hold down and somehow make your way home like that, don't you? I don't know how we do it, but somehow we get home.